Hello dear students. So let us see this question from potentiometer. Okay. Here what is happening? This is a circuit of potentiometer which is of length 10 meters. Look. So this wire is of length 10 meters. Okay. The resistance per unit length is 0.1 ohm per centimeter. Right. Now across AB we have connected a battery of EMF E and internal resistance R, and we have to find the maximum value of the EMF measured by the potentiometer, right? Now, first of all, you must understand here is that the current will flow in the primary circuit. So, in this primary circuit has been shown in the bottom, and the secondary circuit has been shown in the top. All right. So, look, primary circuit. Let us say the current flowing is I naught. So, if you understand, the current in the primary circuit will be flowing like this. So, what will be the value of I naught? That will be the battery voltage 6 upon resistance of AB plus 20 ohms. All right, resistance of AB plus 20 ohms. Now what is the resistance of AB? So that is total length of the wire in the centimeter. So it is a 10 meter wire. So 1000 centimeter will be the length multiplied by uh, zero point 0.1 ohm per centimeter. So that means total resistance will be 100 ohms. All right. So what is the value of I naught we get? 6 upon 120. This 100 you can put here. So this becomes 1 upon 20 amperes. All right. Now the question says that what can be the maximum value of the voltage that this potentiometer can measure. So if you try to recall, the potentiometer measures the voltage across the AJ. J is the jockey terminal. So basically here the potentiometer measures the voltage across the AJ terminal. So we have to find the maximum value of AJ. Now clearly AJ will be maximum provided the J reaches B. Okay, when the J reaches B, then the value of the AJ will be maximum. So clearly, when we can say that in that case, AJ will become equals to AB. Okay, so AJ will be is equals to AB because J will reach B. So what will be VAB basically? Okay, so basically VAB will be VAJ max, right? VAB will be VAJ max, and what is VAB? VAB will be I naught into RAB. Okay, I naught into RAB. I naught is 1 by 20, and RAB is 100. That means 5 volts. So option A will be the correct answer for this question. All right. In this question, there are two statements which are given. One is called as statement A, another is called as statement B. Now, the statement A is that escape velocities from the surface of the planet A and B are same, but A and B are of unequal mass. Okay. Statement B is saying that product of their mass and the radius must be same. That means M1 R2 equals to M2 R1. So they are saying M1 into R2 should be equals to M2 into R1. Okay. In the light of above statements, which is the correct? Now look, if A is correct, then B must be correct. Now let's say what is statement A saying, that suppose there are two planets, okay, planet A and planet B. Okay, so planet A has a mass m1 and radius r1, and this is having the mass m2, radius r2. All right, now we know that escape velocity is root 2 gm by r. Okay, so if statement A is correct, that means root 2 g m1 r1, sorry, root 2 gm1 by r, gm1 by r1, this should be equals to root 2 g m2 by r2. Correct. So if both these values are equal, then we can say that escape velocities will be equal. This implies that m1 by r1 should be equals to m2 by r2, which means that m1 r2 should be equals to m2 r1. Right. Now look, clearly we can say that escape velocities to be equal, m1 r2 should be equals to m2 r1. Okay. m1 and m2 may not be equal separately. Similarly, r1 and r2 may not be equal to separately, but product of m1 r2 should be equals to m2 r1. Okay, so that means if A is correct, then B must be correct. This is exactly what statement B was saying. So option A is the correct answer for this question, right? In this question, we have been given the curve of magnetic field versus magnetic intensity for a ferromagnet that has been kept inside a long solenoid which has 1000 turns per centimeter. Okay, the current that should be passed in this solenoid to demagnetize the ferromagnet completely. So what is happening here is basically, so there's a solenoid. Okay, now inside this solenoid you have kept a ferromagnet. Okay, and we want to demagnetize it. Now look at the BH graph. So you can see the coercivity of this. It is 100. Very well, you can see that the coercivity is 100. Okay, 100 amperes per meter. Now the idea here is that what is the meaning of coercivity? So coercivity is the value of H. Okay, coercivity is the value of H that is required to demagnetize the ferromagnet completely. So basically, suppose there's a ferromagnet, okay, and it has the magnetic moment in it even when the outside field was zero. That means it has some permanent, or you can say some magnetic moment already present when the outside magnetic field was zero. So what do we do if we create an opposite kind of field here, opposite kind of magnetic intensity here in this? So suppose the magnetic moment was in this direction, and let us say if the magnetic intensity is created in the opposite direction. So what will this magnetic intensity do? It will make this magnetic moment zero. It will demagnetize it. So minimum value of H is called as coercivity. So very simple. If you see the coercivity here, so coercivity is this value, okay, which where this graph, BH graph cuts on the x-axis. So this is the value of coercivity. Okay, so the coercivity is 100. Okay, and so that means the value of H required to demagnetize it is 100. Okay, now we know that for a solenoid, the value of H is what? The value of H is equals to Ni. So that means if we have a solenoid in which current I is passed such that the magnetic intensity is created in a backward direction, so this magnetic intensity will demagnetize this magnet. So we can say 100 will be is equals to Ni. Okay, and what is the value of N? So N is 1000 turns per centimeter. So if you see N is 1000 turns per centimeter, okay, that means it will become 10 to the power 5 turns per meter. So if you put the value of N as 10 to the power 5, so the value of I becomes 10 to the power minus 3. That means 1 milliampere. All right. In this question, we have to find the gravitational force of attraction between the ring and a sphere, as shown in the diagram. The plane of the ring is perpendicular to the line joining the centers. Root 8r is the distance between the centers of a ring of mass m and sphere is of mass capital M, and both have equal radii. So basically, if you imagine the ring is like this and the sphere is like this, so the line joining the centers x and y is perpendicular to the ring. So this is how the line joining the center is, and the ring is like this. Okay. Now how we can do? So very simple technique would be to write the field of the ring at the center of the sphere and multiply that gravitational field with the mass of the sphere. Remember that we can treat sphere like a point mass itself. So you can imagine that the whole sphere is kept at its center for the purpose of finding the force. Okay, because the sphere can be replaced by a point mass. So effectively, we will write the gravitational field at the y. Now, what is the field of the ring? So Eg means gravitational field of the ring. So the gravitational field of the ring is, the formula is gm x by x square plus r square whole to the power 3 by 2. Okay, gmx by x square plus r square whole to the power 3 by 2. This is the value of the field. This is the formula of the field for a ring. Okay. Now in this question, x is equals to root r. So if I put the value of x as root 8r, root 8r divided by, now this will become 8r square plus r square. So this will become 9r square whole to the power 3 by 2. So basically, you can say that this becomes like this, and 9r square under root will become 3r, and if you cube it, so this will become 27r cube. So this becomes root 8 by 27 gm by r square. This is the value of the gravitational field. Okay, now if this is the value of the gravitational field at this location, so for finding the, so remember this m is the, like here you will get small m. Why? Because the mass of the ring was small m. So let me write small m here. Okay, so this should be small m. Okay, mass of the ring is small m. So for writing the value of the force, so for writing the force, you have to multiply this field with the mass of the sphere, which is capital M. So this will be root 8 upon 27 into gm by r square into capital M. Okay, this will be your answer. That means option A. One more thing here I would like to tell you is that the force will be attractive, of course, because the field will be towards the x. All right, so that means the force will also be attractive, so force will be towards the x. All right, in this question there are 2-point charges. So this question is from electrostatics, quite a procedural question. So there are 2-point charges, as you can see. One is located on the x-axis at the location x equals to 0. That means at the origin. So let us say this is the origin, and the minus e charge is present here. Okay, and another charge q2 is equals to plus e. Okay, q2 is equals to plus e is present at the location x equals to a. All right, now what we are doing, we are bringing n, we have to find the work done by an external force to bring the third point charge q3, which is also plus e, from infinity to x equals to 2a. That means suppose there is another charge which is in the another universe, okay, which is at infinity. So this charge has to be brought, okay, and it has to be kept at this location which is x equals to 2a. Okay, and this charge is also plus e. Okay, so look, very simple. what we will say is that key work done by the external agent will be equals to change in the potential energy of the system, right? Now look, there is no change in the kinetic energy. That means we can say that only potential energy is changing, okay, which is why we will write the change in the potential energy. All right. Now look, ideally we should write the potential energy of the entire system, but if you understand here, there the energy of minus E and plus E, this two is not changing, so you can ignore it because this will be same in the final situation also, and this will be same in the initial situation also, which is why we can say that this will not change. So we can just write the potential energy of this plus E charge, which is kept at 2a, because of these two. So how will you write that? So look, you have to multiply E into the potential at this location, okay, because that will give you the final potential energy of plus E, this one, okay. So what is the potential at the 2a location because of these two charges? So that will be k into minus E upon this distance 2a, okay, plus k into E upon this distance, which is a. This is the total potential of these two charges at this location. This you have to multiply with the this charge plus E. So you will get the potential energy of this plus E, okay. Then minus initial potential energy was 0. Why? Because this charge was at infinity. So you can say that the potential of these two charges will be 0 indeed at the infinity. All right. So this will be your answer. So you can see that ke by a minus ke by 2a. So this will become ke by 2a into e. So ke e square upon 2a. So k you can write as 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. So this will become 8 pi epsilon naught a. All right. So e square upon 8 pi epsilon naught a will be the correct answer. Cool. In this question, there are two particles A and B which are projected simultaneously from a point situated on a horizontal plane. The particle A is projected vertically up with velocity VA. Actually, I'm changing this symbol to UA. Okay, so just to show that it was initial velocity. So remember, I am changing VA to UA. While the particle B is projected up at an angle of 30 degree with the horizontal velocity VB. Again, I'm changing this to UB. Okay, so I have changed the name of VA to UA and VB to UB. After 5 seconds, the particles were observed moving mutually perpendicular to each other. The velocity of projection of particle VA and VB respectively. Now look, what is happening here is that suppose this is the ground. Okay, suppose this is the ground. And here there is a particle A which has been projected vertically up. So this particle will go vertically up. Okay, and it will fall back. Okay, so understand that velocity of A will always be in the y-axis. Okay, it will always be vertical direction, whether moving up or down, but it will always be in the vertical direction, whether moving up or down. So if you want B to become perpendicular, that means velocity of B should become horizontal. This is A. Okay. So only situation when B can become perpendicular is that velocity of B should become horizontal, right? So when does velocity of B become horizontal? That you might be knowing. It happens at the highest point, at the top point of the trajectory. The velocity of B becomes horizontal, right? So in the question, it has been given that velocity became horizontal after 5 seconds. That means B must have reached the highest point at 5 seconds. Now you know that motion of projectile is symmetric. That means if B has reached the highest point in 5 seconds, then it will come back to ground also in another 5 seconds. What does this mean? The time of flight of B is 10 seconds, right? And you know that time of flight of B is 2u sine theta by g. That is the formula. So that means UB is how much? UB is, we have to find, sine theta is half, and gravity we can take 10. So basically from here you can see that UB becomes 100. So understand that velocity of B has to be 100 meter per second. Now, as such, there is no condition on the velocity of A, but we must remember one point here is that key A should be in air for at least 5 seconds, because otherwise A will stop moving, because A should be in the air for at least 5 seconds, because then only velocities can be perpendicular. That means time of flight of A should be greater than equals to 5. Okay. Now you remember what is the time of flight of A? That is 2u by g, because A has been thrown vertically. So that should be greater than 5, which means what we can say that UA should be greater than 5 into 10. This you can take this side upon 2. So UA should be greater than 25. So as long as velocity of A is greater than 25 and velocity of B is 100, the given situation can be observed, right? In this question, there is a particle of mass m which is projected with the velocity v, making an angle of 45 degree with the horizontal. the magnitude of angular momentum of the projectile about the point of projection when the particle is at its maximum height edge. So what is the question? Look, here the particle has been projected, okay, in a projectile motion again, and we have to find the magnitude of its angular momentum when the particle is at its stop point, okay, and this angle of projection is 45 degree, and the projection speed is v. Projection speed is v. So very easy question. Remember that when the particle is at its stop point, then its velocity would have become horizontal. Okay. And how do you write the angular momentum about the point O? So angular momentum about the point O will be, so you have to multiply the r perpendicular with the magnitude of linear momentum. Now what is r perpendicular? So this is the momentum vector, as you can see. So drop the perpendicular from point O on the momentum vector. So this is the momentum vector. You have to drop the perpendicular like this. Okay, this is what r perpendicular is. So basically this will be equals to maximum height, as you can see. Okay, so r perpendicular is nothing but maximum height, and magnitude of linear momentum at this point. At this point is what? Mass into velocity at this point, which is u cos 45 or v cos 45, because velocity at the top point we know is v cos theta. Now look, the value of h we also can write, because h is the maximum height. So you know that maximum height is 2u square cos square 2u square sin square theta by 2g. This is the, sorry, not 2, my bad, I'm so sorry, u square sin square theta by 2g. This is, 2 will not be there. Maximum height is u square sin square theta by 2g. This is the maximum height. Okay, so basically u is v square sin square theta by 2g, this into mv cos 45. Okay, now look, v is, so v square and v will become v cube. Sin 45 into sin 45 will become 1 by 2, and this will make it 4, and because of cos 45 it will be 4 root 2. Gravity, and m will be there. Okay, so mv cube by 4 root 2g. mv cube by 4 root 2g will be the correct answer. I hope you have understood. Alright. Is a plank of having a mass m is placed on a smooth horizontal surface. A block of mass m is placed on it. So basically this is bigger block they are calling as plank, and here this is the small block of mass small m. The coefficient of friction between the block and the plank is mu naught plus kx, where k is a constant and x is the relative displacement. Remember, x is the relative displacement between the block and the plank. Alright. A force F is applied on the block where F is equals to AT. Here A is a constant. We have to find the time T0 when the relative motion between the block and the plank will start happening. So let's first understand the question here. There's a big block of capital M which is placed on the ground. The ground is smooth. So here there's a small block M which is kept on the bigger block, and the coefficient of friction is variable. But remember that variability is only because of the relative displacement, because here x is the relative displacement. So as long as relative displacement is not going to happen, that means as long as both the blocks are going to move together, you can say that small x will be 0, because small x represents relative displacement, and hence till that time the coefficient of friction is constant, which will be mu naught. Question is asking us ki what will be the time when the relative motion will just start, and the force applied is a into t, where a is 10. So understand that when the relative motion, let us say, is about to start, at that time we can say ki, that means the friction coefficient will be still mu naught. Why? Because till this time when the relative motion is about to start, till this time there is no relative motion that has happened. So we can say that x was 0. So we can say friction coefficient will be mu naught, but also since the relative motion is about to start, so we can say that friction would have maxed out. Friction has become maximum, because that is why the sliding is about to happen between small m and capital M. Relative motion means that this m and m are going to slide. Now obviously you can say that the friction on the small m will act in the opposite direction, and capital M it will act in this direction. Why? Because you are applying the force on small m, which is why the tendency of small m is to move forward. Okay, and which is why the friction will oppose this, and you can say that by third law the same friction will act on the capital M in the forward direction. Okay, now let us say that this friction has become maximum. That means this sliding is about to happen just now. So we can say that this friction will be what? Mu naught. So as I said, this will be 0. Mu naught into this normal reaction, which is small mg. Right. So this is the maximum value of the friction. Now, if you look at capital M only, so if I look at capital M, so we can say that only this force of friction is acting on the capital M, right? So we can say that what is the acceleration of capital M? So that will be this friction upon capital M. That means mu naught mg upon capital M. Now remember, till this time both the blocks are moving together. Okay, till this time both the blocks are moving together. Hence we can say that the system will also have the same acceleration. Okay, so if you consider the entire block as a system, m plus m as a system, so if you consider m plus m as a system, so only one force F is acting. That will be is equals to m plus m into the same acceleration of the system, because this whatever is the acceleration of capital M, same is the acceleration of small m. So entire system is accelerating at the same value. Okay, so this equation we have written on the system. So what is the value of F? That is 80. That will be equals to m plus m into mu naught mg by capital. Now A and G are equal in magnitude, so you can cancel. So time becomes what? So you can see that if you open this, so this will become mu naught m plus mu naught m square by capital M. So option C will be the correct answer for this question. Alright. Here viscous force acting on the raindrop of radius 0.35 mm falling through air with a velocity of 1 meter per second, where eta is given. Very easy question, formula based question. Let us see what is happening here. So basically there's a raindrop which is falling, and because of the viscosity of the air, the viscous forces will be acting in the upward direction. So what will be the value of the viscous force? It will be, the formula is Stokes law. Using Stokes law, 6 pi eta rb. Alright. Now the value of viscous force can be written as 6 into pi is 22 by 7. Eta is 2 into 10 to the power minus 4 into r. Radius is 0.35 mm. So if you convert this into meter, it will be 0.35 into 10 to the power minus 3. Okay, into velocity is 1. So we can just calculate this. Okay, 7 will make it how much? 0.05. Okay. Now look, 0.05 into 2 will become 0.1. So here you can write 0.1. And if you combine all the powers of 10, so 10 to the power minus 4 minus 3 and 0.1 will become 10 to the power minus 8. 22 into 8 will become how much? Sorry, 22 into 6 will become how much? 132. Okay, so this will become 13.2 into 10 to the power minus 7 newtons. Okay. So option D will be the correct answer for this question, right? In this question, there is a cubical box which is to be constructed with iron sheets of 1 mm in thickness. What is the minimum value of the external edge so that the cube does not sink in water? So now what is happening here is that basically there is a cubical box. All right. Now we have to construct this with an iron sheet of thickness 1 mm. And what should be the minimum value of this external edge A so that the cube does not sink in water? Now look, first let's try to understand what will be the mass of this iron sheet or cubical box rather. So if you understand, each sheet is 1 mm thick. So if I show you the bottom sheet like this one, so I'm showing you this separately here. So imagine it like that, this thickness, small thickness, this one, this thickness will be there, right? This will have some thickness because it is like a sheet. So it will have some thickness. So how will you write the mass of this? So look, mass will be volume of this into density. Okay, mass of this sheet. So that means volume will be what? Volume will be area, which is A into A into this thickness. Okay, so A into A into T. T is the thickness. Look. Okay. So we can say that this is the volume into density of the iron. Density of the iron. This will be the mass of this sheet. Now, how many sheets you have? So 6 sheets you have to create this cube. So total mass of this will be 6 times. This is the mass of the iron you have used. Okay, and multiplying further by the gravity will give you the weight. So this is the weight of the iron box. Okay, now if you want it not to, suppose you have placed this iron box in the water, so you want it not to sink. So what will happen? The buoyancy force. Suppose this is water. So water is till here. So buoyancy force should be able to balance the weight. So how do you write the buoyancy? Buoyancy is the entire volume of the body submerged, which is A cube. A cube is the volume of the body submerged. Okay, multiplied by the gravity. Okay, gravity. Okay, into the density of the water. Density of the water. Okay, so this is the buoyancy force. Now, if you don't want this to go down, so this buoyancy force should be equals to balance. Should be able to balance the weight. So if we do that calculation, so you can see that this gravity will cancel. So A cube into rho W should be equals to A square into thickness into rho iron into 6. That is the value we will get. Okay, now A cube and A square will get cancelled. So A is how much? A is what we have to find. Density of water is 1000. Thickness is 1 mm, so 10 to the power minus 3. Okay, in fact, everything is in centimeters. So let's convert this into centimeters. So basically, this should be centimeters. Okay, so basically, we can say that A cube into density is 1000 kg per meter cube. Let's keep it in meters only. I will finally convert this into centimeter later on. So 10 to the power minus 3. Row of iron is how much? 8000. Okay, and 6. Okay, so you can see that this 0 0 0. Sorry, here A is remaining, right? A cube and A is remaining. So this 0 0 0. So you can see that this becomes 8 6 are 48 into 10 to the power minus 3 meter. Okay, so if you want to convert this into centimeters, you have to multiply with 100. So it will become 4.8 centimeter. Alright, so option A will be the correct answer. Right. In this question, a perfect gas goes from state A to state B by absorbing 8 into 10 to the power 5 joules of heat and doing this much of external work. It is now transferred between the same two states in another process in which absorbs 10 to the power 5 joules of heat. Then in the second process, we have to find the work done. Now look, let us say this is the state A and this is the state B, right? Now let's say in the first process, the gas goes from state A to state B and it is given that the gas absorbs 8 into 10 to the power 5 joules of heat, correct? And gas does 6.5 into 10 to the power 5 joules of work. Okay, so using the first law of thermodynamics, we can say that Q1 will be equals to W1 plus delta U. Delta U will become 8 minus 6.5, that means 1.5 into 10 to the power 5 joules, right? Now question says that if you transfer the gas from state A to state B by another process, so what is the value of work done? So the Q2 they have given is 10 to the power 5. Okay. Now remember that delta U will remain the same because it's a state function. The value of delta U is independent of the processes. Okay, so it will remain same. So again, using the first law of thermodynamics, Q2 is equals to W2 plus delta U. So 10 to the power 5 will be equals to W2 plus 1.5 into 10 to the power 5. So W2 becomes minus 0.5 into 10 to the power 5. Minus sign just means that work was done on the gas. Positive work means work is done by the gas, and negative means work is done on the gas. So option A will be the correct answer for this question. All right. Two rods having thermal conductivity in the ratio 5 is to 3 and having equal length and equal cross section area are joined face to face. If the temperature of free end of the first rod is 100 and the temperature of the free end of the second rod is 20, then the temperature of junction. So very procedural question, I guess. What is happening is that let us say this is the first rod, okay, and this is the second rod. Both are of equal lengths, both are of equal cross section area. All right. Now this end is maintained at the temperature 100 and this end is maintained at the temperature 20. The conductivity ratio is 5 is to 3. So that means this, if I call this conductivity as 5K, so this conductivity will be 3K, right? We have to find the temperature at this point. So very obvious question. The rate of heat flow through the first rod will be equals to rate of heat flow through the second rod. Using the steady state, we can say that whatever heat will flow from 100 till T will flow from T to 20. Okay. So now what is the heat flow here? You can say that 100 minus T upon resistance of first. Okay, that will be equals to heat flow from T to 20. So that will be T minus 20 upon resistance of second. Now what is the formula of resistance? So remember the formula of resistance is L by Ka. So that will become 100 minus T upon R1 is L by Ka. K will go in the numerator, so that will become 5K into A. Similarly, this will be T minus 20 upon L by K into A. All right. So from here you can see that KAL will get khatched. 5 into 100 will become 500 minus 5T. That will be 3T minus 20 into 3 is 60. So 8T will become how much? 560. So T becomes 70 degrees Celsius. So option C will be the correct answer for this question. Very, very straightforward procedural question. Here in this question is a vibrating string of length L, which is fixed at both ends and vibrating with the frequency N. In the fundamental mode, the maximum displacement at the middle is A. Okay. So if the tension is T Newton, we have to find the maximum value of component of the force at the end support perpendicular to the equilibrium portion of the string. So first let's try to understand what is happening here. So look, suppose this is a string which has been fixed at both the ends. Okay, and A and B. Now this string is oscillating in the fundamental mode. So basically this string will be oscillating in a single loop. Okay, so basically it will be like this. And this value has been given as A. So remember that this is the amplitude of the antinode and this value has been given as A. Amplitude of the antinode is given as A here. Alright. Now the amplitude of the antinode is A. So we have tension in the string is T. We have to find the force at the end point. So let us say at A or B that the support is applying on the string, but we have to find the Y component of it. So look, ultimately we have to find T sine theta, because if you understand the tension in the string is T, so you can say that the force applied by the string is also T. Force applied by the string on the support is T. Okay, like this. Hence we can say the support is also applying the same force. Okay. Maximum value of component force on the end support. So string is applying the force of T. So this T, we have to find the Y component of it. Okay, because we have to find the component perpendicular to the string. So that means if this angle is theta, so our answer will be T sine theta. This is our answer. Okay, now how to find the value of sine theta? Look, remember that in the string waves, what we assume is that key angles are very small because the amplitude is very small. So we can say that these angles are very small always. So the sine theta will be approximately written as tan theta. Okay, because of the small angle approximation, we can write sine theta as tan theta, and tan theta you can write as dy by dx. Okay, ideally you should use del y by del x because of the partial derivative thing. So basically y should be differentiated partially with respect to x. Okay, y is a function of x and t. So t into del y by del x, that should be the the force. Tan theta can be written as slope basically, which is by del y by del x. Now look, since this string is fixed at both the ends, so we can write this as y is equals to a sine omega t. Okay, sine omega t. Sorry, y is equals to a sine kx cos omega t plus some angle delta. Okay, this delta can be any value. It is not important for this question. But what is important is that this sine function will be of this type sine kx. Why? Because if you put x equals to 0, then y should always be 0. As you can see here, at x equals to 0, this displacement of the particle is 0. The displacement of the string particle is 0, which is why if I put x equals to 0 here, then the y should be 0. Okay. So now what is the value of del y by del x? So if I differentiate this with respect to x, so x will come out, sorry, k will come out and sine will become cos. Okay, and this will be cos of omega t plus delta. All right. Now if I put x equals to 0 here, so look, if I put x equals to 0 here, so this becomes ak cos of omega t plus delta. That means this is the slope function, as this is the slope function as time, slope as a function of time at x equals to 0. Now we want to find the maximum value. That means cos theta should be 1. So the maximum value will be when cos theta becomes 1, and that will become ak. So you can see that the maximum value becomes t into a into k. Okay, now what is k? K, if you remember, is 2 pi by lambda. So k is 2 pi by lambda. Now since the string is oscillating in the fundamental mode, so you can see that this length will be lambda by 2. Length of the string is nothing but lambda by 2. Hence we can say that L will be lambda by 2. So lambda you can put 2L here. So the value of k becomes 2 pi by 2L. So this answer becomes pi by L, and which you can put in the place of k. So TA into pi by L. This is the value of the force which they are asking. Alright. In this question, there's a double slit apparatus which is used to observe an interference pattern projected on the screen from a stationary light source. The light source is instead moved along the double slit at a constant speed along the axis of symmetry, and what will be observed? So basically, they're asking whether the fringes will come closer or they will go far away from each other, or what will happen. So first, understand what is happening here. Let us say these are the two slits, and this is the screen, right? Then this is the axis of symmetry. Okay. So look, suppose this is a source of light S. Okay, and from here the light will go to the slit S1, and from here the light will go to the slit S2 also. Okay, and now from S1 and S2 light will go to a different points. So let us say this is the general point on the screen. So this is the, you can say, one particular ray, and this is another particular ray. So what happens is that for different values of point P, you get minima, maxima, or some intermediate intensity. So look, if this source starts moving, then what will happen? This distance x will start decreasing because source is moving in this direction. So we can say that this distance x will start decreasing. Okay, but will that change the fringe width? Because if you remember, fringe width is lambda capital D by small d. So capital D is this value and small d is this value. So neither lambda changes nor capital D changes nor small d changes. So when the source moves towards the slits, nothing will change. Okay, so interference pattern will remain unchanged. But yes, fringe width will not change. But yes, if you want to ask me what exactly will change, so intensity will become stronger because the light source has become closer. So the intensity of the slits will increase. Okay, like if you ask me, so each slit will become more. They will be getting more number of photons. So intensity of the slits will increase, which is why intensity of the maxima and minima both will minima will remain zero, but maxima will increase. Okay, so because the slits in the intensity will increase. Okay, so I hope, but as far as fringes they are concerned, it will not change. The incident intensity on a horizontal surface at the sea level from the sun is about 1 kilowatt per meter square. Assuming that 50% of this intensity is reflected and 50% is absorbed, we have to find the radiation pressure. So look, basically assume any surface. Okay. Now suppose the light is falling from the sun, and so this intensity is I. Okay, this intensity is I. Now what is happening is that 50% of this light is getting reflected. Okay, so 50% of the light is getting reflected, so 0.5 I we can say is getting reflected, and 0.5 I is getting absorbed. Okay, now we have to find the pressure. So if you remember, the pressure due to the absorbed or the absorbed light, the radiation pressure because of the absorbed light is written as I by C. Okay, and for the reflected light it is twice of I by C. This is the formula. Now since here only 50% of the light was getting absorbed, so I will be replaced by 0.5 I because this is the intensity of the absorbed light. So absorbed light is 0.5 I. Similarly, this is the intensity of the reflected light. So I will be replaced by 0.5 I because the reflected light is also 0.5 I. Okay. So what does this become? This becomes I by 2C and this becomes I by C. So total pressure will be P due to absorbed plus P due to reflected. That means 3 by 2 I by C. Okay. Now I is how much? 1000 because this 1 kilowatt means 1000 watt per meter square, and C is 3 into 10 to the power 8. So how much does this become? 500 into 10 to the power minus 8. So that means 5 into 10 to the power minus 6 pascals. Alright. In this question, there is a glass prism whose refractive index is 1.5. It is dipped in water with refractive index 4 by 3. There is a light ray which is incident normally on the face AB. So light ray is coming like this. It reaches the surface BC after getting totally reflected from AC. So basically we have to check out the condition for TIR here. Now look, condition for TIR is that light must be going from denser to rare medium, that is one. So here the light, so look, TIR we are checking out on the AC surface. So at the AC surface the light was going from denser to rare medium because this is denser, this is rare. So that is the first condition, and then second condition is that the angle of incidence must be more than critical angle. So for the glass or for the prism water interface, the critical angle will be what? Sin inverse of refractive index of water divided by refractive index of prism. Always it is denser rare medium upon denser medium. Okay, so rare medium is water and denser medium is glass. So 4 by 3 into prism is how much? Prism is 3 by 2. So if you look, this becomes sin inverse of 8 by 3. Sorry, 8 by 9. So this is the critical angle. Now what do we want? So basically if you say this angle is theta, so this angle will be 90 minus theta. So that means this is the angle of incidence, look, which is again theta. And if you want TIR to happen, so this theta should be more than theta C. Right? Theta should be more than theta C. That means theta should be more than sin inverse of 8 by 9. Hence we can say that sin theta should be more than 8 by 9. So best option is A. For equal, what happens? Generally speaking, the TIR, the ray emerges out like like this. Okay, but you can say for critical case, option A is best. Let us see this question. So in this question, there is a circular parallel plate capacitor of area 60 centimeter square and separation is 3 mm. This is charged to initially 90 microcoulombs. The medium between the plate becomes conducting and the plate loses the charge initially at the rate of 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 8 And what is the magnetic field due to the conduction between the plates? So look, what is happening here is that suppose this is a circular parallel plate capacitor. So this type of a capacitor is here, and the area of the plates is 60 centimeter square. Okay, so using this we can find the radius of the circular plate. So you can say that if r is the radius of this, so pi r square will be 60 centimeter square. So you can say that r square will be 60 upon 3.14. Now look, 60 upon 3 is nearly 20. So this will be slightly less than 20. Okay, you can say around 19.5 something. And if you take the under root of it, so we can say that it will be near about, I mean, say, nearly, if I consider this as 19.5, so nearly you can say the basically the value of r will be nearly how much, 4.4 maybe, near about. So we can say that the value of r approximately we can say is 4.4 centimeters approximately. Okay, let's call this as capital R instead. Okay, let me call this as capital R. Okay, radius is capital R, so that means the capital R value will be near about 4.4 centimeter. Okay, so pi capital R square will be this, so r square will be this, so r value will be near about, I'm saying, 4.4 centimeter approximate calculation. Okay, now what happens is that this on this entire area of this plate, what happens that, let's say initially there was plus q charge and here was minus q charge. So basically what happens, because of the medium which has become conducting between, the charge starts flowing, leaking basically, right? So which is why there's a current that gets established between the two plates, and because of that we will have some magnetic field, and which is what we have to calculate. Now look, the idea here is that suppose I find the surface charge density on this plate initially. So we can say that surface charge density is sigma. Okay, surface charge density sigma will be q upon area of this plate. Okay, now imagine, if I imagine a circular cross section which is coaxial. Okay, circular cross section and which is coaxial, and coaxial with the axis of the plates, like this. So which is coaxial with the axis of the plates and is of radius small r. Okay, circular cross sectional surface, basically this kind of a surface, okay, which is of radius small r. Okay, so you can say that some charge will be going from within here also, because if you understand, the charge will be going from here, here. Okay, so we can say that basically some charge will be going from within this also. Okay, so if I say that basically what is the charge that will flow from here? Okay, so that value q will be written as what? That will be equals to sigma into the area of this. Okay, pi r square, sigma into the area of this. So we can say that what is the value of sigma? Sigma is capital Q by a into pi r square, right? And that is the value of q. So that means dq by dt, which is the rate of flow of charge from within this cross sectional surface that we have imagined, will be equals to pi r square upon area into d capital Q by dt. Now d capital Q by dt basically is the rate of flow of the charge from the capacitor plates, which is 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 8 initially. So this value has been given. Okay, so that means d small q by dt, which is the total charge flowing within this circular cross section, will be what? So let me write this as I through the cross section of r. I through the cross section of r will be pi r square by a into the dq by dt, which is 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 8. Okay, now look, if I show you this cross section here separately, so you can say that there is some charge which is flowing through inside this, and because of that there this kind of magnetic field we can imagine. Okay, so now you can imagine this circular cross section as the magnetic field line, and using Ampere's law, okay, using Ampere's law we can say that b into 2 pi r, b into 2 pi r, which is the line integral of magnetic field, okay, on this loop. So b into 2 pi r will be equals to mu naught times the current flowing within this loop, right? This is the Ampere's law. So current flowing within this loop is I into this r. Okay, so since we have to find the magnetic field due to the conduction only, so I am just writing the conduction current. That means the current which is flowing within this loop. Okay, conduction current, leak flow of charge basically. So look, value of b will become mu naught into ir divided by 2 pi into radius. Okay, now look, mu naught value is 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7. That is the value of mu naught. Ir value we can write pi r square. So pi r square upon area is 60 centimeter square, so 16 to 10 to the power minus 4. Okay, into this 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 8. Okay, this is the value of mu naught into ir divided by 2 pi r. Okay, 2 pi r, that is what we get magnetic field. Now if you see here, this 2 pi and this will make it 2. Okay, and this r will cancel this completely. Okay, now this 2 into 2.5 becomes how much? 5. 2 into 2.5 becomes 5, and 5 will make it 12. So till now, if we see the calculation, we are getting pi upon 12. Okay, pi upon 12 into what? 10 to the power minus 7 into 10 to the power minus 8. Okay, 10 to the power minus 7 into 10 to the power minus 8 upon 10 to the power, and one r is also remaining here in the numerator, and 10 to the power minus 7 into 10 to the power minus 8, that means 10 to the power minus 15, and this 4 will go in the numerator, so this will become 10 to the power minus 11. Okay, now again, if you see this value, okay, so if you see this value, it is a very very small value. Okay, in fact, let me show you. So magnetic field, first of all, is a function of radial distance. Okay, it's a function of radial distance, and the value is pi by 12 into r into 10 to the power minus 11, right? 10 to the power minus 11. Now see, this value is very very small. In fact, if you see what can be the maximum value of r, so maximum value of small r can be equals to capital R, which is 4.4 centimeter. So even if I try to find the maximum value of r, maximum value of magnetic field, sorry, maximum value of magnetic field, then small r will be at max, it will be equals to capital R. So we can say that pi by 12 into capital R. What is the value of capital R? So value of capital R will be 4.4 centimeter, which is 0.044 in meters into 10 to the power minus 11. So if you figure out, this value is very very small. Okay, 10 to the power, like you can see, this will become 4.4 into pi is 3.14. Okay, 3.14 divided by 12 into 10 to the power minus 13. Okay, now rough calculation says that 4 into 3 will be 12, so you can say this will be 13, 14, 15 nearly. So this you can treat approximately, you can treat this as 1. So order of 10 to the power minus 13, which is a very very small value, so we can say that the magnetic field will be nearly 0. Okay, so that is the idea of this question. I hope you would have understood. In this question, it's an LR circuit. At time 0, the current is 20 ampere, and after 2 seconds, it becomes 18. We have to find the time constant. First of all, you must understand that the current is decreasing here, which means that it must be a decaying circuit. Okay, because the current is reducing. Now, for a decaying circuit, the current can be written as I is equals to I naught into e to the power minus t by tau. So if I put time as 2 seconds, and I should become 18. I naught is the initial value of the current in the circuit, which is given as 20. So time, if you put 2 seconds, then I value becomes 18. So from here, 18 by 20 should be equals to e to the power minus 2 by tau. Now this is 9 by 10, and we can take ln. So ln if you take, so this will become minus 2 by tau. That means tau becomes minus 2 upon ln of 9 by 10. That means this can be written as 2 upon ln of 10 by 9. So option A will be the correct answer for this question. Alright, very easy question. In this question, the anode voltage of a photocell is kept fixed. The wavelength lambda of the light falling on the cathode is gradually changed. We have to find the graph of the current versus lambda. Now look, basically, if you understand that, suppose this is the cathode from where the electrons will be emitted. Okay, and now the idea here is that the wavelength of the light is lambda, and lambda is being increased gradually. So look, we remember that energy of the photon is hc by lambda. That means the falling photon energy is decreasing slowly because lambda is increasing. What will happen is that k max will start decreasing. Okay, the energy of the emitted electrons will start decreasing because energy of the photon is decreasing. So remember that energy of the photon is equals to 5 plus k max. What does this essentially means is that the electrons which are emitted, their energy will start decreasing. That means less and less number of electrons will reach the anode. Okay, that means the current will decrease slowly. Okay, but what happens is that when lambda will go more than lambda cutoff or lambda threshold wavelength, so at that instance we can say the photoelectric emission will stop, and we can say the current will become 0. So as you can see here, this is showing in the option D, for a certain value of till a certain value of lambda, the current is decreasing, but then it becomes 0 after lambda is gone beyond the lambda cutoff. So this must have been the value of lambda cutoff. Okay, lambda threshold, which we call. So that means option D is absolutely fine. So in this question is a hydrogen atom which is which from the excited state comes to the ground state by emitting a photon of wavelength lambda. If R is the Rydberg's constant, then principal quantum number n of the excited state is. So look, if the electron falls from the state n to state 1, then what happens is that in this case the wavelength of the emitted photon 1 by lambda can be written as rz square into 1 by 1 square minus 1 by n square. This is using the Rydberg's formula. Now for the hydrogen, z becomes 1, so we can say that this formula will become like this. Okay, that is the value of lambda. Right, now we can just manipulate this. So you can bring lambda on this side, or you can bring r on this side rather. So 1 by lambda r will be 1 minus 1 by n square, which means 1 by n square will be 1 minus 1 by lambda r. Hence n square becomes lambda r upon lambda r minus 1. So answer will be under root of lambda r upon lambda r minus 1. Option A is the correct answer for this question. Alright. in this question there are two circuits which are shown in the figure A and B, and the question is saying that at what frequency, that in radian per second. So basically they are asking the angular frequency. The average power dissipated will be same in both the circuits. Now if you remember, the average power can be written as Vrms Irms cos phi, right? This is the general formula of average power. Okay, now r Irms can be written as Vrms by r, sorry, Vrms by z. Okay, and cos phi can be written as r by z. Okay, now look, in the first case we can say that the only it is a purely resistive circuit, so r will be equals to z in the first case. In this circuit the z will be equals to r, so this and this will get cancelled, and this formula becomes Vrms square by r, right? Now in the second, so that means we will want the same power to be dissipated in the second circuit. Okay, now if I use the same formula, so Vrms you can see is the same value. Irms ko again you can write Vrms by z. Okay, and cos phi will be r by z. Okay, now look, if you want the power to be dissipated, like same power to be dissipated, then this whole thing should be is equals to 1 by r, because Vrms you can see is same in both 220 220. Hence what do we understand, that r by z square of the second circuit should be is equals to 1 by r of the first circuit. This means r should be is equals to z, which means basically the condition of resonance should be established because z becomes r. So condition of resonance should be established, and hence we can say that omega should be omega resonance, which we know is that equals to 1 by root of LC. This condition should be established. So what is the value of L in the given question? It is 0.1 Henry, and capacitance is 40 into 10 to the power minus 6. So this will become 4, which means 1 by 2 into 10 to the power minus 3. That means 1000 upon 2, which is 500. So this answer will become 500 radian per second. So in this question, it is given that there is a 20 kg uniform circular disc of radius 0.2 meters. It is supported at its center and is at rest initially. The disc is acted upon by a constant force of 20 Newton through a massless string which is wrapped around its circumference basically. Suppose the disc makes n number of turns to attain the angular speed of 50. So we have to find the value of n. Now look, this can be done by many methods. So basically if I use the torque method, so what we can say is that this string is being pulled by a force of 20 Newton. That means the tension in this string will become 20 Newton, and this string is wrapped around the pulley. Okay, so you can say that the torque of this tension about the center will be T into R, right? Torque of mg and the hinge force will be 0 about the center. So this torque will be also net torque, and that will be is equals to I, which is half mr square into alpha. Okay, so let us say that pulley rotates with the angular acceleration alpha in the rightward direction or the clockwise direction. So you can see that this tension which will be equals to 20 Newton, because the force with which you will pull this string will be equals to the force with which string will pull you. So tension in this string will be 20 Newton. So 20 and this 2 you can bring on the this side upon mr. That will be equals to alpha. Okay, mass is 20 and radius is 0.2. So radius is 0.2. So alpha becomes 10. 10 radian per second square. All right. Now look, we have to find the number of revolutions. Okay, so the idea here is that we can use omega is equals to, omega square is equals to omega naught square plus twice alpha theta, where omega square is the final angular velocity, omega naught is the initial angular velocity, alpha is 10 and theta is unknown. So omega, finally the disk acquires the angular velocity of 50, omega naught was 0, alpha is 10 into theta. Theta is the angular displacement here. So we can say that theta becomes 2500 upon 20. That means 125. So the total angular displacement is 125, and we have to find the number of rotations. So number of rotations you can write as total angle rotated upon 2 pi, because in one rotation 2 pi angle will be rotated. Okay, now you can see that 2 pi is 6.28. So this will become 125 upon 6.28. Now you can see 6 into 6 into 20 is 120, and 0.28 into 20 will be nearly how much? 5.6 maybe. So this will be the closest to 20, we can say that. So answer will be 20. All right. In this question, there is a thermodynamic process going on, and the pressure of the gas depends on its volume as kV cube. We have to find the work done when the temperature changes from 100 to 300 nr, where n denotes the number of moles. Now remember, here we can say that pressure is some constant K into volume cube. So if I bring volume on the LHS, then this will become PV to the power minus 3 is equals to constant. Now remember that this is a polytropic process, and for a polytropic process the work done can be directly written as P1 V1 minus P2 V2 divided by X minus 1. What is x? X is the power of volume. Basically, any polytropic process can be written as PV to the power x constant. So for a polytropic process, x becomes this power of volume. Now P1 V1 can be written as nRT1 minus P2 V2 can be written as nRT2 upon x minus 1. So look, here the temperature has changed from 100 to 300. That means initial temperature was 100 minus final temperature will be 300. Upon what is the value of x? So it is minus 3. Minus 3 minus 1 will become minus 4. So basically this becomes, you can see, 200 nR upon 4. That means 50 N into R. So directly we can write 50. I hope you would have understood. Thank you. In this question is a spring gun having a spring constant 100 Newton per meter. A small ball of mass 100 gram is put in its barrel by compressing the spring to 0.5 meter. There should be a box placed at a distance d on the ground so that balls fall in it. If the ball leaves the gun horizontally at a height of 2 meter above the ground, the value of d is. So basically, let us imagine that this is the ground. Okay, this is the ground, and let us say that the ball, if this spring is compressed by a distance of 0.05 meter, then the ball will be released and ball will fall somewhere on this inside this box. Okay, so question is asking this value of d. All right. Now what will happen here is that the ball, like the spring has been compressed by 0.05, and when the spring will be released from here, so we can say that like the potential energy of the spring will become the kinetic energy of the ball. So first let's find with what speed the ball will be projected. So you can write the potential energy of the spring is half kx square, and when the ball will be released, so that entire potential energy will become the kinetic energy of the ball, so that will be half mu square. The value of k has been given as 100. X is 0.05 into 0.05. Mass of the ball is 100 gram, which means it is 0.1 kg into u square. So if you check out what does this become u square, so this will become 5 into 0.5 as I can see. Yeah, 5 into 0.5, that means 2.5 meter per second. Okay, this is the speed of the ball. Also notice that this entire speed is in the x direction. Okay, this entire speed is in the x direction. So if I ask you ki what's the time in which ball will reach the ground, so that we can find using the y direction motion. So look at over here is that the initial velocity in the y axis was 0. Okay, the ball was having the entire velocity in the x direction. So we can say that in the y axis the displacement of the ball is 2 meters. So we can use Sy is equals to uyt plus half ayt square, right? Now assuming the downward direction as positive, so displacement in the y-axis is 2 meters, so this will become 2. Uy was 0. Acceleration is in the y-axis is plus 10 because we are assuming downward as positive, so we can say that gravity will be plus 10 into t square. That is what we have to find. So you can see that t becomes how much? 2 2s are 4 upon root 4 upon 10 under root. That means 2 by root 10. This is the time. Okay, and now we can find the value of d very easily. So this distance d is the displacement in the x direction. Displacement, this will be under root. Displacement in the x direction is how much? T into u. Okay, because this was the x velocity entirely, so displacement in the x direction will be t into u. Now t is 2 upon root 10 into root of 2.5. Okay, this will become 2.5 by 10, which is 1 by 4. That means 1. So the value of d will be 1. All right. In this question, this is the time period of the simple pendulum is t. The time taken to complete 5 by 8 oscillations starting from the mean position is alpha by beta t. So the value of alpha is. So let us try to understand the situation here. Let us say the particle is oscillating, performing SHM on this position. So this is the minus a position, this is the plus a position. Okay. Now see, suppose the particle starts from the mean position. So if it reaches the extreme, so you can see that this is 1 by 4th of the total oscillations. Then from plus a to again it will go back to origin, so it will be again another 1/4 of the total oscillations. Now if you see how much oscillations particle need to perform, that is 5 by 8 of the total oscillations. So look, 5 by 8 means simply what? Look, it means 4 by 8 plus 1 by 8. Now 4 by 8 is nothing but half plus 1 by 8. So look, 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4, so half of the oscillation has been already performed when the particle goes from mean to extreme and then extreme to mean. Now another 1 by 8th of the oscillation has to be performed, so particle will 1 by 8th means, now look, this is total. If it goes to the negative extreme, then the oscillation is 1 by 4, but we want only 1 by 8. That means it should go till minus a by 2 position. Okay, so half of this is a by 2, I mean minus a by 2. So basically this is the 1 by 8th of the total oscillation. Okay, now let us say, so it going from here to here, we know that the time is t by 4, then from here to here again the time is t by 4. Okay, in going from origin to minus a by 2, how much time will particle take? Let us try to understand this. So basically, look, you can do this by phasor or you can do this by normal math also. So let me do this by phasor. Okay, so look, I'll draw the phasor. So basically, look, now the particle is over here, so let us say its phasor was like this, and when the particle reaches minus a by 2, so at this position, so phasor will become like this. Okay, so this position is a by 2. Okay, this position is a by 2, that means this distance is also a by 2. Okay, and this angle is theta. So you can see that sine theta will be a by 2 upon a. Okay, sine theta will be is equals to a by 2 upon a. Okay, a by 2 upon a, that means half. So we can say that theta will be equals to 30 degree. So we can understand that when the particle goes from origin to minus a by 2, okay, so basically the phasor rotates by an angle of 30 degree. Now you know that the phasor rotates at a constant angular velocity of omega. So that means omega t is the total angle rotated. So t is a time from here to here. That should be equals to 30 degree, which is pi by 6. So the time will become pi by 6 omega. Now what is the value of omega if you recall? So value of omega is 2 pi by capital T, right? That means this becomes pi by 12. So the time period of time to go from here to here will be pi by 12. Okay, or in terms of capital T, if you want, so omega go not sorry pi by 12, t by 12, my bad, this is t by 12. Okay, so it will be t by 12. Yeah, in terms of capital T, it is capital T by 12. So the total time, if you see, in doing 5 by 8 oscillation is t by 4 plus t by 4 plus t by 12. So our answer will be, total time will be t by 4 plus t by 4 plus t by 12. So if you can take LCM 12, so this will become 3t plus 3t plus t upon 12. That means this becomes 7t by 12. That means alpha is 7 and beta is 12. So our answer is alpha, which is 7, right?
Arrange these compound in डिक्रीजिंग ऑर्डर ऑफ देयर डेंसिटीज. देखो डेंसिटी जो है वो बेसिकली मास अपॉन वॉल्यूम होता है, तो डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू मास एंड इनवर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल टू वॉल्यूम. तो क्योंकि ये सारे एरोमेटिक कंपाउंड हैं एंड द ग्रुप्स आर एक्चुअली कनेक्टेड टू द एरोमेटिक रिंग, सो देयर इज नो मेजर डिफरेंस इन द साइज, दो देयर इज, बट बहुत ज्यादा बड़ा डिफरेंस साइज में नहीं होगा. तो मॉलिक्यूलर वेट इज गोइंग टू प्ले एन इंपॉर्टेंट रोल. ऑलराइट, तो जैसे लास्ट में इन कंपाउंड डी वी हैव 1 ब्रोमीन 1 क्लोरीन, मॉलिक्यूलर वेट विल बी हाईएस्ट, फॉलोड बाय सी, देन बी, देन ए. So it is expected that maximum density has to be for compound D, followed by C, then B, then A. So A is supposed to be the correct answer of this question. All right. The ionic radius of fluoride and oxide are 1.33, 1.4. Okay. While covalent radius of nitrogen is 0.74, the correct statement of the ionic radius of N3 minus. Okay. N3 minus has same number of electron as fluoride and oxide. सभी में 10 इलेक्ट्रॉन है, 10 इलेक्ट्रॉन. एंड आइसो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक स्पीसीज का जो रेडियस होता है, इनफैक्ट रेडियस ऑफ आयन या आयनिक रेडियस इज डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू नंबर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स अपॉन नंबर ऑफ प्रोटॉन्स और न्यूक्लियर चार्ज. इलेक्ट्रॉन सेम है. अगर मैं F माइनस O2 माइनस एंड N3 माइनस की बात करूं, तो प्रोटॉन जिसमें ज्यादा होंगे उसका साइज सबसे छोटा होगा. ऑलराइट, सबसे ज्यादा प्रोटॉन फ्लोराइड में है, देन ऑक्साइड में है, देन नाइट्राइड में है. So nitrite has got minimum number of protons, so its size should be larger as compared to oxide and fluoride. All right. So the correct answer, it is bigger than oxide and fluoride. And ठीक है, तो यही इसका सबसे correct answer हुआ. In this question, organic reactants are given. We need to find out the missing product in the reaction X and Y. तो देखो, एक नाइट्रोजन बन रहा है, एक आपका एनिसोल बन रहा है, और दो प्रोडक्ट और बन रहे हैं. तो देखिए, अगर ये नाइट्रोजन निकल के बन रहा है और एक OMe बन रहा है, इसका मतलब ये जो कंपाउंड आपका A है ना, दैट मस्ट बी प्रेजेंट इन द फॉर्म ऑफ अ डाइजोनियम सॉल्ट. और क्योंकि OMe और बन रहा है, तो यहाँ पे एक OMe भी मौजूद होना चाहिए. ठीक है, अब मैंने पैरा पोजिशन पे लगा दिया है. इट कैन बी एट एनी अदर पोजिशन ऑल्सो एज पर इंफॉर्मेशन. लेट्स आइडेंटिफाई द अदर प्रोडक्ट. ये एक्चुअली एथेनॉल है. जब एथेनॉल से ट्रीट करते हैं, इनफैक्ट यहाँ एक हीटिंग कंडीशन और रिक्वायर्ड है. जब आप एथेनॉल से डाइजोनियम सॉल्ट को हीट करते हो, तो सिंपली नाइट्रोजन निकल जाता है. बेसिक रिएक्शन ये होती है PHN2 plus Cl if it is heated in presence of ethanol or it is heated in presence of H3PO2. ये दोनों रिएक्शंस एक्चुअली नाइट्रोजन रिलीज करते हैं, साथ में HCl बनता है और बेसिकली बचा हुआ कंपाउंड प्रोडक्ट में कन्वर्ट हो जाता है। तो जब आप इसको हीट करेंगे तो नाइट्रोजन बना है, तो ऑलरेडी क्वेश्चन में दिया है, तो एक कंपाउंड तो आपका HCl हो गया एंड एक कंपाउंड आपका इसका ऑक्सीडाइज्ड प्रोडक्ट हो गया, क्योंकि नाइट्रोजन बन रहा है साथ साथ इसका एक ऑक्सीडाइज्ड प्रोडक्ट भी होगा CH3CHO, बिकॉज N2 प्लस एक्चुअली N2 में जा रहा है, तो एक तरह से रिडक्शन हो रहा है। तो यहाँ पे जो अदर कंपाउंड है वो ऑक्सीडाइज होकर के CH3CHO बनाएगा। Therefore, answer of this question is supposed to be what? N2 plus Cl minus CH3CHO and HCl. C should be the right answer of this question. Alright? मेजर प्रोडक्ट ऑफ द फॉलोइंग रिएक्शन, रिएक्शन आपको दिया हुआ है, इसके अंदर मेजर प्रोडक्ट क्या बनेगा ये बताना है। देखो जिस तरह से रिएक्शन का सेटअप है, केवेज का रिएक्शन कराया है और कई सारे कार्बोनिल ग्रुप्स इसमें मौजूद हैं, तो एक पॉसिबिलिटी ये है कि OH आके यहाँ पे एनायन बनाए H लेकर के, और जैसे ही एनायन बनाएगा ये एनायन इंटरमॉलिक्यूलरली या तो यहाँ पे अटैक करेगा या यहाँ पे अटैक करेगा। यहाँ पे अटैक करना ज्यादा फिजिबल है बिकॉज वो एक तो लेस क्राउडेड है, एल्डिहाइड है, एल्डिहाइड्स आर मोर रिएक्टिव। तो जैसे यहाँ पे अटैक होगा तो एक साइक्लाइज्ड कंपाउंड आपको मिलेगा कुछ इस तरह से, देखिए डबल बॉन्ड O अपनी जगह पे है, देन वी आर गोइंग टू गेट व्हाट, यहां से एक प्रोडक्ट कुछ इस तरह का बनेगा, एक आपका डबल बॉन्ड O है, मतलब इस वाले कार्बन पे अटैक हो रहा है, तो ये कार्बन में ये ले लेता हूं, OH बन गया यहाँ पे, और जिस पे ये अटैक हुआ है वो कार्बन ये वाला हो गया, राइट, ये वाला, और उसके बाद एक C डबल बॉन्ड ऑलरेडी लगा हुआ है। अब जब आप इसका डिहाइड्रेशन करेंगे H प्लस एंड हीट और OH माइनस हीट, तो आपको कंपाउंड डिहाइड्रेटेड मिलेगा, यानी एक प्रकार का इंट्रामॉलिक्यूलर एल्डोल कंडेंसेशन रिएक्शन है ये बेसिकली। तो डबल बॉन्ड आपका कहां पे चला जाएगा, यहाँ पे, ये कीटोनिक ग्रुप के कार्बोनिल ग्रुप के कॉन्जुगेशन में होता है। सो योर आंसर हैज टू बी बी। ऑलराइट, तो इट्स अ ब्यूटीफुल क्वेश्चन ऑफ इंट्रामॉलिक्यूलर एल्डोल कंडेंसेशन। तो जो मोस्ट एसिडिक हाइड्रोजन है वहां से हाइड्रोजन गया और इंटरनली अटैक होकर साइक्लाइज हो गया। आइडेंटिफाई द कंपाउंड A इन द फॉलोइंग रिएक्शन। कंपाउंड A दिया हुआ है और जिस तरह से कंपाउंड का सेटअप है CH2 CH2 CHO CH2 CH2 CHO, जब आप बेस डालोगे ना, बेस यहां से अल्फा हाइड्रोजन उठाएगा और ये जो एनायन बनेगा वो इंटरनली यहां अटैक कर देगा। दिस इज अनदर एग्जांपल ऑफ इंट्रामॉलिक्यूलर एल्डोल कंडेंसेशन। तो एक तो आपका जो 6 नंबर रिंग है वो है ही, और दूसरा रिंग बनेगा 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 मेंबर का रिंग और बन जाएगा। तो एक बार मैं 7 मेंबर का रिंग और बना देता हूं। तो ये कार्बन अटैक किया है, ये कार्बन एज इट इज है, ये कार्बन पे CHO लगा हुआ है, ऑलराइट, और ये अटैक करके इस कार्बन पे OH ले आया है। अब जब आप इसका डिहाइड्रेशन करोगे तो क्या प्रोडक्ट बनेगा, अगर आप इसका डिहाइड्रेशन किए तो डबल बॉन्ड एक्चुअली इस पोजीशन पे आ जाएगा कॉन्जुगेशन में। तो आपका एग्जैक्ट प्रोडक्ट होना चाहिए कुछ ऐसा, CHO यहाँ पे और डबल बॉन्ड यहाँ पे आ गया। तो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी द फाइनल प्रोडक्ट ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर रिएक्शन। सो ऑप्शन D is correct. D looks like the correct answer. Alright. Another beautiful example of intramolecular Cannizzaro reaction, intramolecular aldol condensation. Okay. An organic compound A on treatment with benzene sulfonyl chloride, जिसे आप हिल्सबर्ग reagent कहते हो, it gives compound B and compound B soluble in dilute NaOH solution। ये बेसिकली हिल्सबर्ग टेस्ट ऑफ प्राइमरी सेकेंडरी टर्सरी अमीन से है, और आंसर देख करके भी यही लग रहा है कि इसमें 3 टाइप का अमीन है। और आपको याद होगा, लाइक अगर मैं PHSO2Cl का रिएक्शन प्राइमरी अमीन से कराता हूं तो प्राइमरी अमीन का सल्फोनामाइड बना लेता है R, या PH ले लो, PHS डबल बॉन्ड O NHR बनाता है, और फिर जब आप NaOH डालते हो तो इसमें क्योंकि यहाँ पे एक एसिडिक हाइड्रोजन है, ये एसिड बेस्ड रिएक्शन होकर डिसॉल्व हो जाएगा NaOH में। तो प्राइमरी अमीन का जो सल्फोनामाइड होता है वो एक्चुअली वाटर सॉल्युबल होता है, सेकेंडरी का सॉल्युबल होता नहीं है, और टर्सरी सल्फोनामाइड बनाते ही नहीं है। तो योर आंसर हैज टू बी फ्रॉम दीज ऑप्शंस, योर आंसर हैज टू बी द वन हैविंग प्राइमरी अमीन ग्रुप, राइट। तो आप देखो केवल C में प्राइमरी अमीन है, फर्स्ट में सेकेंडरी है, सेकेंड में टर्सरी है, एंड फोर्थ में यानी D ऑप्शन में भी सेकेंडरी, केवल C ऑप्शन में ही प्राइमरी अमीन है। तो प्राइमरी अमीन इज गोइंग टू बी द आंसर। सो फाइनल आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन इज सी. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज करेक्ट स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ टायरोसिन. अब इसमें देखो ये इंफॉर्मेशन बेस्ड क्वेश्चन है, इसके अंदर कोई कंसेप्ट नहीं लगानी है. टायरोसिन का स्ट्रक्चर बेसिकली ये होता है, एक फिनोलिक ग्रुप होता है, साथ में एक कायरल कार्बन मौजूद होता है बाहर. तो एक NH2 ग्रुप, एक COOH ग्रुप. So this is the structure of tyrosine. Info based question, you need to mug up the structure of important amino acids. All right, D is the correct answer. यहाँ पे आपको तीन रिएक्शंस दी हुई हैं, सबके लिए Kp अपॉन Kc का वैल्यू निकालना है. तो सबके लिए Kp अपने को पता है Kp अपॉन Kc इज इक्वल RT रेज्ड टू द पावर डेल्टा n, और डेल्टा n होता है सम ऑफ स्टोइचियोमेट्रिक कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ ऑल गैसियस प्रोडक्ट माइनस सम ऑफ स्टोइचियोमेट्रिक कोएफिशिएंट्स ऑफ ऑल गैसियस रिएक्टेंट्स. तो अगर मैं इस रिएक्शन को 1 मान लूं, इसको 2 मान लूं, इसको 3 मान लूं, राइट, तो 1 के लिए डेल्टा n की वैल्यू 0 हो गई, तो Kp अपॉन Kc इज इक्वल टू RT रेज्ड टू द पावर 0, ये आपका 1 हो गया. तो ये आपके दो ऑप्शन हट गए. सेकंड के लिए बात करें तो डेल्टा एन की वैल्यू 2 माइनस 1 यानी 1 हुई, तो Kp अपॉन Kc इज इक्वल टू RT रेज्ड टू द पावर 1 हो गया. RT आपको पता है 24.62, तो यही आंसर हो गया 24.62 DMQ ATM mole. All right, and in third reaction delta n is equal to 2 minus 4 which is minus 2, so Kp upon Kc is equal to RT raised to the power minus 2. RT का वैल्यू रख दो 24.62 raised to the power minus 2, तो ये रफली आ जाता है 1.65 into 10 raised to the power minus 3 DM6 ATM power minus 3. यूनिट आप मैच कर लेना भाई क्योंकि जगह नहीं है मेरे पास. सो DMQ एटमॉस्फेयर पावर माइनस 3 मोल स्क्वायर. यूनिट्स तो अपने आप डेल्टा एन के हिसाब से निकल आएंगे, तो दैट इज नॉट अ बिग डील. तो ये आपका कौन से आंसर में ऐसा है 1 24.62 1.65 10 power minus 3. So this is going to be the correct answer of this question. All right. Which of the following species attracted to an external magnetic field? देखिए पैरामैग्नेटिक सब्सटेंसेस अट्रैक्ट होते हैं मैग्नेटिक फील्ड में, attracted to magnetic field, and diamagnetic substances are repelled by magnetic field. Repelled by magnetic field. तो ये आप ध्यान रखिए, यानी आपको पैरामैग्नेटिक सब्सटेंसेस यहाँ से निकाल के लाने हैं. जैसे आयरन है, आयरन प्लस 3 है, यहाँ पे आयरन होता है D6S2, 3 इलेक्ट्रॉन निकाल देंगे, D5 बचेगा, वीक फील्ड लिगेंड है, तो इसमें तो पक्का 5 अनपेयर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन होंगे, इसलिए ये पैरामैग्नेटिक हो गया और इसलिए यही आंसर आ गया. आगे जाने की जरूरत आपको है नहीं अगर आपको सिर्फ एग्जाम में अटेम्प्ट करना है. अगले में है NiCN4 होल 2 माइनस. यहाँ पे एक्चुअली D के सारे इलेक्ट्रॉन पेयर्ड होते हैं, DsP2 हाइब्रिडाइजेशन है एक्चुअली, तो D के 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन है, 8 पेयर्ड है, ये डायमैग्नेटिक हो जाएगा, तो ये रिपेल्ड होगा. कोबाल्ट 3 प्लस भी स्ट्रॉन्ग फील्ड लिगेंड में D6 होता है, सारे इलेक्ट्रॉन पेयर्ड होंगे, ये D2sp3 हाइब्रिडाइजेशन बनाता है, तो यहाँ भी डायमैग्नेटिक कैरेक्टर आ जाएगा. NiCO4 में D10 आ जाता है, एक्चुअली S के इलेक्ट्रॉन भी D में शिफ्ट हो जाते हैं ना, D8S2 होता है, तो S के इलेक्ट्रॉन D में शिफ्ट होकर के sp3 हाइब्रिडाइज्ड ऑर्बिटल बनाते हैं, और D के सारे इलेक्ट्रॉन्स पेयर फॉर्म में रहेंगे अगर 10 इलेक्ट्रॉन है, तो ये भी डायमैग्नेटिक हो गया. तो केवल ए ऐसा कंपाउंड है जो पैरामैग्नेटिक है, इसलिए एक्सटर्नल मैग्नेटिक फील्ड में ये अट्रैक्ट होगा. तो फर्स्ट यानी ए इज द आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन. ऑलराइट. द करेक्ट ऑर्डर ऑफ 3D मेटल ऑक्साइड्स अकॉर्डिंग टू द ऑक्सीडेशन नंबर, यानी कि हाईएस्ट से लोवेस्ट ऑक्सीडेशन नंबर वाले कंपाउंड अपने को निकाल के लाने हैं. क्रोमियम में एक्चुअली होता है +6, आयरन में यहाँ +3 है, मैग्नीज में यहाँ +4 है, बेनेडियम में यहाँ +5 है, कॉपर में यहाँ पे +1 है, तो 6 सबसे ज्यादा है, तो CrO3 यानी A मैक्सिमम एंड फॉलोड बाय D. ए के बाद D, ए के बाद D, ए के बाद D आ रहा है C में, तो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी द करेक्ट आंसर. वैसे भी आपको टोटल ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट दिख रही है, तो यू कैन इजीली कंपेयर कि मैक्सिमम किसका होगा और मिनिमम किसका होगा. ऑलराइट. इक्विलिब्रियम कांस्टेंट Kc ऑफ दिस रिएक्शन इज गिवन. आपको E0 सेल निकालना है, हमको पता है, और ये आपको 2.303 RT की वैल्यू भी, RT अपॉन F की वैल्यू भी दी हुई है. अपने को पता है कि जब भी इक्विलिब्रियम आता है ना, तो E सेल 0 हो जाता है, राइट. तो कैन बी राइट E इज इक्वल टू E0 माइनस 0.0591 अपॉन N, और जब इक्विलिब्रियम आएगा तो log Kc हो जाएगा और ये वैल्यू हो जाएगी 0. तो आप चाहो तो डायरेक्टली लिख सकते हो log kc इज इक्वल टू n इंटू ई नॉट डिवाइडेड बाई 0.0591, इसको डायरेक्टली यूज कर सकते हो। ओके, 591 की बजाय 9 ले लेते हैं, क्वेश्चन में गिवन है डेटा। तो m का वैल्यू इस रिएक्शन के लिए 2 होगा, ई नॉट दिया हुआ है, नहीं ई नॉट निकालना है। log kc मीन्स log 10 raised to the power 16 कर देता हूं अपॉन 0.0591, यहां से ई नॉट निकाल के लेके आओगे आप, इट कम्स आउट टू बी 0.4736 वोल्ट। ऑलराइट, तो डायरेक्ट फॉर्मूला बेस्ड क्वेश्चन था, बी इज गोइंग टू बी द करेक्ट आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन। ओके, एसोसिएशन रीजनिंग का क्वेश्चन है, स्टेटमेंट ए दिया हुआ, इनॉल फॉर्म एसीटोन इज लेस देन 0.1% क्वांटिटी, हाउ एवर इनॉल फॉर्म ऑफ एसिटाइल एसीटोन, एसिटाइल एसीटोन का स्ट्रक्चर कुछ ऐसा होता है, देखिए ऐसा, एसिटाइल एसीटोन एक्सर्ट अप्रोक्सीमेटली 15% क्वांटिटी, यानी ज्यादा क्यों हो गया, क्योंकि अगर मैं इस इनमें से किसी भी साइड से प्रोटॉन शिफ्ट करके इनॉल बना लूं ना, जैसे यहां से मैंने इनॉल बना लिया, दिस इनॉल हैज गॉट साइक्लिक स्ट्रक्चर, इंट्रामॉलिक्यूलर हाइड्रोजन बॉन्डिंग है, साइक्लिक स्ट्रक्चर है, जिसकी वजह से स्टेबलाइज हो जाएगा। तो दोनों स्टेटमेंट करेक्ट हैं, और जो आपका रीजन है दैट इज गोइंग टू बी द करेक्ट एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑफ योर स्टेटमेंट असर्शन, यानी कि बोथ ए एंड आर आर ट्रू एंड आर इज द करेक्ट एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑफ ए, ये बिल्कुल परफेक्ट आंसर है बी। प्रोडक्ट ए एंड बी इन द फॉलोइंग रिएक्शंस, रिएक्शन दी हुई है, ए और बी प्रोडक्ट बताना है। तो पहला रिएक्शन में डिहाइड्रेशन है, देखिए 20% H2SO4 एट हाई टेम्परेचर गिव्स अ डिहाइड्रेशन प्रोडक्ट, और अगर आप इसका डिहाइड्रेशन प्रोडक्ट निकालोगे तो ये आता है ज्यादा स्टेबल एल्कीन। सेकेंड केस में टर्सरी ब्यूटॉक्साइड लिया हुआ है जो कि स्ट्रॉन्ग बेस है, तो ये हाफमैन एलिमिनेशन कराता है, हाफमैन प्रोडक्ट बनाता है डिहाइड्रो हेलोजनेशन करा के, ये वाला बीटा हाइड्रोजन निकलेगा जो सबसे कम क्राउडेड होगा, और ये हाइड्रोजन यहां शिफ्ट हो जाएगा, ये निकल जाएगा, तो इससे हाफमैन प्रोडक्ट बनता है, यानी इसका जो प्रोडक्ट होगा वो होना चाहिए कुछ इस तरह से। सो योर बी ऑप्शन इज कमिंग आउट टू बी करेक्ट। ऑलराइट, सिंपल क्वेश्चन, डायरेक्ट रिएक्शन बेस्ड। A white sodium salt readily soluble in water, solution is neutral to litmus, सिल्वर नाइट्रेट डालने पर व्हाइट पीपीटी आता है, एंड दिस व्हाइट पीपीटी इज इनसॉल्युबल इन डाइल्यूट नाइट्रिक एसिड। देखिए क्लोराइड है, क्लोराइड का जब आप सिल्वर नाइट्रेट से रिएक्शन कराते हो ना, तो AgCl बनता है जो कि एक व्हाइट पीपीटी होता है, इसको अगर मैं डाइल्यूट नाइट्रिक एसिड के अंदर डालता हूं HNO3 के अंदर, तो कोई भी रिएक्शन नहीं होती है, प्रेसिपिटेट रिमेन एज सच। राइट, तो ये क्लोराइड आयन का टेस्ट है, क्लोराइड आयन शुड बी द राइट आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन। ऑलराइट, which of the following is a normal oxide, normal oxide का मतलब केवल ऑक्साइड हो, पर ऑक्साइड, सुपर ऑक्साइड, या और कोई ऑक्साइड नहीं हो। लाइक Q2 जो होता है वो एक सुपर ऑक्साइड होता है, राइट, यहाँ पे ये बेसिकली O2-1 होता है, DO2 एक पेरोक्साइड होता है, ये आपका नॉर्मल ऑक्साइड है SiO2, और CSO2 भी एक टाइप का सुपर ऑक्साइड है, राइट। तो इसमें अब कोई खास बात बची नहीं, दिस इज द ओनली आंसर जो कि एक नॉर्मल ऑक्साइड के फॉर्म में एग्जिस्ट करता है, बाकी सब पेरोक्साइड या सुपर ऑक्साइड है। सो योर आंसर इज ए। आयनाइजेशन कांस्टेंट ऑफ ईच ऑफ HA एंड BH आर गिवन, इन दोनों का K और KB सेम है, वो है 6 × 10⁻⁷। परसेंटेज डिग्री ऑफ हाइड्रोलिसिस निकालना है, ठीक है। तो जब आप BA का हाइड्रोलिसिस करेंगे तो B प्लस और A- दोनों का हाइड्रोलिसिस होगा, यानी कैटायन एनायन दोनों का हाइड्रोलिसिस हो जाएगा, तो BOH बनेगा प्लस HA बनेगा। इसका अगर मैं हाइड्रोलिसिस कांस्टेंट लिखूं, लाइक इसकी कॉन्सेंट्रेशन C है, तो अल्फा अगर डिग्री ऑफ हाइड्रोलिसिस है तो C1 - अल्फा दोनों बचेंगे, ये C अल्फा आ जाएगा। तो KW विच इज इक्वल टू KW, अगर मैं इसका KH लिखता हूं हाइड्रोलिसिस कांस्टेंट, राइट, तो हाइड्रोलिसिस कांस्टेंट आता है KH इज इक्वल टू KW अपॉन KA इंटू KB। दिस कैन बी रिटन एज C अल्फा इंटू C अल्फा अपॉन C1 - अल्फा इंटू C1 - अल्फा। तो यहां से KW हमें पता है 10⁻⁴, KA है 6 × 10⁻⁷, 6 × 10⁻⁷ is equal to अल्फा अपॉन 1 - अल्फा होल स्क्वायर। यहां से अल्फा अपॉन 1 - अल्फा आ जाएगा 10⁻⁷ डिवाइडेड बाई 6 × 10⁻⁷। ऑलराइट, तो ये 1/6 आ गया, विच इज इक्वल टू अभी लेकिन लीनियर इक्वेशन बन रही तो मैं अल्फा को नेग्लेक्ट किए हुए बिना निकालूंगा। तो 6 अल्फा इज इक्वल टू 1 माइनस अल्फा, तो 7 अल्फा इज इक्वल टू 1, तो अल्फा इज इक्वल टू 1/7 विच इज रफली इज इक्वल टू 0.14। दैट मीन्स परसेंटेज हाइड्रोलिसिस हो गया 14%। ऑलराइट, सो योर करेक्ट आंसर इज सी। तो जब भी वीक एसिड वीक बेस के सॉल्ट का हाइड्रोलिसिस करते हैं तो एनायन कैटायन दोनों का हाइड्रोलिसिस होता है, तो यहां पे अल्फा को नेग्लेक्ट करने की जरूरत नहीं होती है। ऑलराइट, A hydrogen like sample electron make a transition from fourth excited state का मतलब n is equal to 5 से second energy level यानी कि n is equal to 2 में ट्रांजिशन हो रहा है। राइट, जब भी कभी एक हायर स्टेट से लोअर स्टेट में ट्रांजिशन होता है जहां पे डेल्टा n 5 माइनस 2 इज इक्वल टू 3 हो गया, तो मैक्सिमम नंबर ऑफ लाइंस या मैक्सिमम नंबर ऑफ फोटॉन्स इमिटेड इज इक्वल टू डेल्टा n इंटू डेल्टा n प्लस 1 डिवाइडेड बाई 2। तो ये हो गया आपका 3 इंटू 4 डिवाइडेड बाई 2 विच इज इक्वल टू 6। तो 6 लाइन बनेगी। तो आपका पहला और दूसरा आंसर तो हो गया गलत। ऑलराइट, अब इन्होंने बोला है नंबर ऑफ लाइंस बिलोंगिंग टू बामर सीरीज। पांचवें से ट्रांजिशन होगा तो 5 से 2, 4 से 2, 3 से 2, यही 3 लाइन है जो बामर सीरीज की लाइनें होंगी। तो ये इसका करेक्ट आंसर हो गया। नंबर ऑफ लाइंस बिलोंगिंग टू पास्टन सीरीज के लिए इनकी वैल्यू हायर टू 3 होनी चाहिए। तो 3 का ट्रांजिशन 5 से 3 पॉसिबल है, 4 से 3 पॉसिबल है, तो केवल 2 ही लाइन पास्टन सीरीज की बनेगी, 3 नहीं बनेगी, तो ये भी गलत हो गया। ऑलराइट, सो योर करेक्ट आंसर इज सी। एस नॉट हाइड्रोजन का क्लोरीन का HCl का गिवन है और स्टैंडर्ड एंट्रोपी चेंज रिएक्शन में निकालना है, यानी हाफ H2 प्लस हाफ Cl2 चेंजिंग इनटू HCl। तो अगर मैं इसका डेल्टा S लिखूंगा तो ये होगा डेल्टा S नॉट ऑफ HCl माइनस हाफ S नॉट ऑफ H2 माइनस हाफ S नॉट ऑफ Cl2। सिंपली वैल्यू रखना है और कुछ नहीं करना है। HCl का दिया है 187 माइनस हाफ ऑफ हाइड्रोजन का भी दिया हुआ है 131 माइनस हाफ ऑफ क्लोरीन का 223। ये सारा वैल्यू जब आप निकाल के लाओगे तो विल गेट 10 जूल पर केल्विन इज एन आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन। ऑलराइट, द इनकरेक्ट ऑर्डर ऑफ बॉन्ड एंगल निकालना है चारों ऑप्शंस में से। देखो ऑप्शन ए की बात करें तो ये 180 डिग्री होगा, ये 120 डिग्री होगा और ये 109.5 डिग्री के आसपास का एंगल होगा। एक्जैक्टली 109.5 नहीं होगा, सारे बॉन्ड्स नहीं, बॉन्ड एंगल्स बराबर नहीं होंगे, लेकिन जो सीक्वेंस है वो बिल्कुल करेक्ट है, तो ये आंसर नहीं आएगा क्योंकि इनकरेक्ट देना है। राइट, तो आंसर नहीं होगा। NO2 प्लस 180 डिग्री है, ये 120 के रफली आसपास होगा और NO2 माइनस में थोड़ा 120 से डेविएट करेगा क्योंकि ये कुछ इस तरह का स्ट्रक्चर रिक्वायर कर लेता है और NO3 माइनस में NO3 माइनस में ऐसा स्ट्रक्चर होता है, तो ये एक्जैक्टली 120 होगा लेकिन ये 120 के आसपास का होगा। तो ये भी ठीक लिखा हुआ है, सीक्वेंस में कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। XgF2 होता है 180 डिग्री। राइट, XgF2 होता है 3 और 2 5, 3 लोन पेयर हो गए जिनन के और 2 एटम यानी 5 जुड़े हुए हैं। तो जब हम लोन पेयर्स को उठा के रखेंगे तो इक्वेटोरियल पोजीशंस पे रखेंगे, तो यहाँ पे जेनन है और ये फ्लोरीन है, तो ये 120 डिग्री और बाकी सब जगह लोन पेयर है, तो 180 डिग्री का एंगल आ जाएगा। XgF4 एक्चुअली स्क्वायर प्लेनर होता है, 90 डिग्री का एंगल आएगा, ये भी स्क्वायर प्लेनर होता है, तो एक्जैक्टली दोनों का सेम एंगल रहेगा और क्योंकि यहाँ पे डिक्रीजिंग ऑर्डर दिया हुआ है तो ये ही आंसर हो गया। दिस इज नॉट एन करेक्ट सीक्वेंस ऑफ बॉन्ड एंगल, सो सी इज गोइंग टू बी द राइट आंसर। बाकी मैं जानते हो ASH3 PH3 SBH3 SBH3 इन सभी में बॉन्ड एंगल घटते हुए क्रम में होता है, तो आंसर सी इज गोइंग टू बी द राइट वन। वन 1.86 ग्राम ऑफ एनिलीन, एनिलीन आपका ये होता है, देखिए इसको कन्वर्ट किया है एसिटाइनलाइड में और बोला है कि 10% प्रोडक्ट का वेट लॉस हो जाता है, तो एक्चुअल वेट कितना बनेगा। तो नंबर ऑफ मोल्स ऑफ कंपाउंड बी मस्ट इक्वल टू नंबर ऑफ मोल्स ऑफ कंपाउंड ए और ए का वेट दिया है 1.86, इसका मॉलिक्यूलर वेट 93 होता है। तो वेट ऑफ बी एक्सपेक्टेड एज पर रिएक्शन इज इक्वल टू 1.86 अपॉन 93 इंटू इसका मॉलिक्यूलर वेट जो कि 135 होता है। ठीक है, तो वेट ऑफ बी एक्चुअली फॉर्म्ड कितना हो जाएगा, अगर 10% का लॉस होता है तो 90% वेट बचेगा, यानी बनेगा 1.86 डिवाइडेड बाई 93 इंटू 135 इंटू 0.9। ये आपका आता है 2.43 ग्राम, विच कैन बी रिटन एज 243 into 10 power minus 2. So your answer has to be 243. Alright, so 243 is going to be the right answer of this question. Vapor pressure of pure A दिया है, pure B दिया है, 1 mole of A and 2 mole of B are mixed. तो mole fraction of A हो गया 1 upon 1 plus 2 यानी 1 by 3, mole fraction of B हो गया 2 by 3. टोटल प्रेशर निकालना है, assume this is an ideal solution. तो टोटल प्रेशर P total as per Raoult's law can be written as XA PA naught plus XB PB naught. Alright, तो 1 by 3 into 21 plus 2 by 3 into 18, तो ये हो जाएगा 7 plus 12 यानी कि 19, sorry 19. So 19 is going to be the right answer of this question. Total pressure 19 kilopascal. 19 is the right answer. All right. .0 gram of organic compound was analyzed by Geldal method for estimation of nitrogen. और नाइट्रोजन का परसेंटेज निकाल के 42% आया है। बोला है कि जो भी अमोनिया निकली वो H2SO4 का कितना वॉल्यूम कंज्यूम करेगा। ऑलराइट, इस पर्टिकुलर एनालिसिस के लिए कितना वॉल्यूम कंज्यूम करेगा, कितना ml वॉल्यूम कंज्यूम करेगा। ऑलराइट, तो हमें 0.8 ग्राम ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड का वेट दिया हुआ है, तो वेट ऑफ नाइट्रोजन ले सकता हूं मैं 0.8 का 42%। ऑलराइट, 0.8 इंटू 0.42 ग्राम, तो मोल ऑफ नाइट्रोजन यहां से आ जाएगा 0.8 इंटू 0.42 डिवाइडेड बाई 14। जितना मोल नाइट्रोजन कंपाउंड में प्रेजेंट होगा N, ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड में जितना मोल N प्रेजेंट होगा उतना मोल NH3 बनेगा। तो क्या मैं लिख सकता हूं मोल ऑफ NH3 इज इक्वल टू मोल ऑफ नाइट्रोजन विच इज इक्वल टू 0.8 इंटू 0.42 डिवाइडेड बाई 14। और जब भी अमोनिया और H2SO4 का रिएक्शन होगा तो रिएक्शन कुछ इस तरह से होता है, दो अमोनिया एक मोल H2SO4 से रिएक्ट करता है और NH4 होल ट्वाइस SO4 बनता है प्लस वाटर। तो जितना मोल अमोनिया बना होगा उसका हाफ मोल H2SO4 होगा, तो मोल ऑफ H2SO4 इज इक्वल टू हाफ इंटू मोल ऑफ अमोनिया। तो हाफ इंटू मोल ऑफ अमोनिया है 0.8 इंटू 0.42 डिवाइडेड बाई 14 एंड मोल ऑफ H2SO4 हो जाएगा वॉल्यूम इंटू मोलैरिटी। 1 मोलर दिया हुआ है, वॉल्यूम को मिलीलीटर में लेता हूं तो 10⁻³ फैक्टर और लगाना पड़ेगा। यहां से जब आप कैलकुलेट करते हो ना तो वॉल्यूम 12 ml आ जाता है। दैट मींस 12 इज गोइंग टू बी द राइट आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन। एलिमेंट्री मोल कंसेप्ट का क्वेश्चन है जहां पे हम एलिमेंट का क्वांटिटेटिव एनालिसिस करते हैं किसी ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड में। And Geldal method is a well-known method for calculating percentage of nitrogen in such organic compound. Homoleptic and octahedral complex of cobalt with water has how many unpaired electrons? ये बताना है कितने unpaired electron इसके अंदर होंगे। देखो homoleptic and octahedral हुआ COH2O whole 6 2+, एंड कोबाल्ट 2+ है। बेसिकली कोबाल्ट 2+ के अंदर आपका क्योंकि वीक फील्ड लिगेंड मौजूद है, कोबाल्ट 2+ एक्चुअली कोबाल्ट 27 होता है, तो 27 में D7S2 होता है, तो जब 2+ यानी 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन निकाल दोगे तो D7 बचेगा। अब D7 को तुम फिल करोगे तो T2G में इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हो जाएंगे 1 1 एंड 1, देन EG में जाएंगे 1 1, देन हमारे पास 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन और बचे, यहां आके पेयर्ड हो जाएगी, तो टोटल एक अनपेयर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन T2G में बच जाएगा। ऑलराइट, so total number of unpaired electron left in T2G set of orbital in this compound is 1. Alright, answer is 1. KCO3 FeSO4 का रिएक्शन हो रहा है, बन रहा है Fe2SO4 होल थ्राइस। इसमें FeSO4 का डेटा दिया हुआ है, इनिशियल एंड फाइनल कॉन्सेंट्रेशन टाइम दिया हुआ है और इसका रेट ऑफ अपीयरेंस निकालना है। राइट, रेट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन ऑफ Fe2SO4। तो रेट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन ऑफ Fe2SO4 होल थ्राइस को क्या मैं लिख सकता हूं, हाफ द रेट ऑफ कंजम्पशन ऑफ FeSO4। अगर इसका 6 मॉलिक्यूल जाता है तो इसका 3 मॉलिक्यूल बनता है। दैट मीन जो FeSO4 होल थ्राइस का बनने का रेट होगा वो FeSO4 के कंज्यूम होने के रेट का हाफ होगा। तो हाफ और इसका जो रेट दिया है, इनिशियल कॉन्सेंट्रेशन 10 है, फाइनल कॉन्सेंट्रेशन 8.8 है, अपॉन टाइम है 30 मिनट, इसको सेकेंड में कन्वर्ट कर लिया। ऑलराइट, तो ये 1/2 इंटू 1/2 1.2 अपॉन 30 इंटू 60, this comes out to be 0.33 into 10 raised to the power minus 3, which is equal to 333 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 मोल पर लीटर पर सेकेंड। ऑलराइट, और आपको इस फॉर्मेट में आंसर देना है, देखो इंटू 10 पावर माइनस 6, यानी आपको जो आंसर भरना है वो आ जाएगा 3.33। ऑलराइट, तो दिस वाज अ सिंपल क्वेश्चन बेस्ड ऑन कंपैरिजन ऑफ रेट ऑफ reactant, rate with respect to reactant and product.
Hi everyone, I'm Firoz Khan, Master Teacher of Mathematics here at Vedantu. So in this video, we are going to discuss the mathematics paper, which was conducted very recently. So let's start the discussion now. And the first question on your screen. This question is from 3-dimension geometry. So what they are saying, vertices B and C of a triangle ABC lies on this line, the given line. BC length is given 5. And a point is also given 1, minus 1, 2. So what will be the area of this triangle ABC, right? So what they have given you a line. So this line is given to you. This line is given to you. And we have a triangle ABC like this. This A point is also given. This A point is 1, minus 1 and 2. This A point is 1, minus 1 and 2. And B and C are the 2 points on this given line. And this BC length is also given. So what will be area? Area will be simply half base into altitude. So let's draw the altitude from the vertex A to the side BC. And let's say the foot of the altitude is D here. So I need the length D first, length AD first. Means I need the point D and then length AD. Now D is what? D is a point on the given line. D is a point on the given line. And if I equate this given line with lambda, so D point in general form, in lambda form, it can be written as 3 lambda minus 2, 0 lambda plus 1, and 4 lambda. This is D point, right? 3 lambda minus 2, 0 lambda plus 1, and 4 lambda. So you got the point D. Now you can find the vector AD. Vector AD. Vector AD is basically what? Position vector of D minus position vector of A. So just subtract A from D. So vector AD will be basically what? 3 lambda minus 2 minus 1 minus 3. 1 plus 1, which is 2. And 4 lambda minus 2. This is vector AD. And if I take a vector Q along the line, along the given line, the vector Q along the given line is basically the direction vector of the line, and direction vector of the line is 304. So Q vector can be taken as 304. Basically it is 3i plus 0j plus 4k. Now obviously you can see that AD dot Q will be 0. If I take the dot product of AD with Q, it should be 0 because AD is perpendicular to Q. Now take the dot product of AD with Q. So you will get 3 into 3 lambda minus 3 means 9 lambda minus 9. 0 into 2, which is 0. And 4 into 4 lambda minus 2. So that will be 16 lambda minus 8. 0. So this gives you 17 lambda. Not 17. 9 and 16 is 25 lambda actually. 25 lambda is 17. So lambda will be 17 by 25. Now you know lambda 17 by 25. So you can find the point D now. D point is what? 3 lambda minus 2 means 51 by 25 minus 2. Then 1. and then 4 lambda, which is 68 by 25. So now it is what? 1 by 25, 1 and 68 by 25. This is D point. So now you can get this length, AD length. AD length is basically what? AD length is, use distance formula. So AD length will be 1 by 25 minus 1 whole square. 1 plus 1, 4. And then 68 by 25 minus 2 whole square. So this will be what? 1 minus 25, 24, which is 576 by 625 plus 4. And then 68 minus 50, 18 square, which is 324 by 25. Now just calculate AD from here. And then area of triangle ABC will be what? Area of triangle ABC will be half BC multiplied with AD. And BC is already given. BC is already given 5. AD you can calculate from here. So this will give you the area. And finally, when you calculate, you will get the final area as root 34. So actually AD length comes out to be 2 root 34 by 5 here. And area half BC into AD, that will be under root 34. Okay, see this question. This is from definite integration. You have to integrate 1, 2, 3 integral part of x square minus 2x minus 2 dx. Greatest integer function. Now let's see how to do this. So let me call this integral as I. And I can write it as 1, 2, 3. And let's make it a perfect square. So x square minus 2x minus 2, I can write it as x minus 1 whole square. And x minus 1 whole square will be x square minus 2x plus 1. But I have minus 2. I have minus 2. So I will write minus 3 here. So this is 1, 2, 3. X minus 1 whole square minus 3 dx. Now you can write it as 2 integration. 1, 2, 3. Integral part of x minus 1 whole square dx. And then 1, 2, 3 minus 3 dx. Minus 3 can be taken outside this box. Any integer can be taken outside the box. So you can take this minus 3 outside of GIF. So it is 1, 2, 3 minus 3 dx. Now in this first integral, in this first one, what you can do, let's substitute x minus 1 as t. So dx will be dt. So now I can write it as I integral part of t square dt. And you can see that when x varies from 1 to 3, the t varies from 0 to 2. Now this second integral is very easy. It is basically minus 3 into 2. Minus 3 taken outside. Integration of dx is x. Upper limit minus lower limit is 2. So 3 into 2. Now I can write it as, since I have integral part of t square, so in 0 to 1, t square also lies between 0 and 1. So integral part will be 0. In 1 to root 2, integral part will be 1. In root 2 to root 3, integral part will be 2. And in root 3 to root 4, which is 2, integral part will be 3. And then minus 6. So now this is 0. Here you are getting root 2 minus 1. 2 times root 3 minus root 2. 3 times 2 minus root 3 minus 6. 6 and 6 cancel. In fact, this 6 and this 6 cancel. So you are getting what? You are getting 2 root 3 minus root 3. So basically you are getting minus root 2 minus root 3 and what, minus 1. So it is minus root 2 minus root 3 minus 1. Means B option should be the correct option here. Okay, let's see this question. This is from matrices. So they are saying that A and B are 3 by 3 matrices. A is symmetric, B is skew symmetric. Then the system of linear equations a square b square minus b square a square multiplied with x is equal to 0. X is a 3 by 1 column matrix. And O is obviously 0 matrix, null matrix. So this system will give you how many solutions? A unique solution, exactly 2 solutions, no solution, or infinitely many solutions. So what you can do here, I can write this system of equation, I can write it as mx is equal to 0, where m is what? M is a square b square minus b square a square. And now let's check whether m is symmetric or skew symmetric. So if I take the transpose of m dash, so that will be a square b square minus b square a square whole dash. That will be a square b square whole dash minus b square a square whole dash. Now this will become what? B square dash a square dash minus a square dash b square. And they have given that a is symmetric, means a dash will be a only, and b dash will be minus b because b is skew symmetric. So it is minus b square a square, then a square minus b square. So ultimately you are getting it as b square a square minus a square b square, which is nothing but minus m. So you can see that m transpose is negative of m, and m transpose is a negative of m, means m is skew symmetric matrix. And you know that any skew symmetric matrix of odd order, the determinant will be 0. Since m is a skew symmetric matrix of order 3 by 3, the determinant of m will be 0 here. And since determinant of m is 0, so this is a homogeneous system of equations because right side is 0. So since determinant of m is equal to 0, this system will give you infinitely many solutions. If determinant of m is not 0, then this system gives you a unique solution. Determinant of m 0, then this system gives you infinitely many solutions. So hence, which option is correct here? D option is correct, the last option. See this question. This question is from trigonometry, or you can say maximum minimum. Basically, you have to get the range of this function. What is the maximum value and minimum value? We are saying that maximum value is capital M, minimum value is small m. So what will be the difference of maximum and minimum? So let me call this function as fx. So let me call this function as fx. So fx is what? 4 plus half sine square 2x minus 2 cos raised to 4x can be written as 1 plus cos 2x over 2 whole square. Actually 1 plus cos 2x over 2 is cos square x, and then again whole square, that will be cos raised to 4x. Now if I substitute this cos 2x as t, let me substitute cos 2x as t. So obviously sine square 2x will be 1 minus cos square 2x, means 1 minus t square. So now I can say that this function becomes 4 plus half. Sine square theta is 1 minus cos square theta, so 1 minus t square, then again half. And here you are getting 1 plus t whole square. So 1 plus t whole square will be 1 plus 2t plus t square. 1 plus 2t plus t square. Now you can write it as 4, half taken common. So it is 1 minus t square minus 1 minus 2t minus t square. 1 minus t square minus 1 minus 2t minus t square. So 1 disappears. Now it is 4 times half, 4 plus half in fact, minus 2t square and minus 2t. So finally I'm getting what? I'm getting 4 minus t square minus t. 4 minus t square minus t. Now if I make a perfect square here, so 4 minus taken common, t square plus t can be written as t plus half whole square minus 1 by 4. Just expand it, you will get the same thing. You will get t square plus t, then 1 by 4 cancel. Now 4 plus 1 by 4, 4 plus 1 by 4 is what? 17 by 4 minus t plus half whole square. Now obviously t is cos 2x, so t lies between minus 1 and 1. T is cos 2x, so t lies between minus 1 and 1. So what will be the maximum value of this function? Maximum value is obviously 17 by 4 when this t plus half is 0. And what will be the minimum value? 17 by 4 minus 1 plus 1 by 2 whole square. Minimum you will get when you put t is equal to 1, because when you put t is equal to 1, this t plus half whole square will be maximum. So you are subtracting the maximum, net value will be minimum. So this is minimum value. So what is the difference? Capital M, small m. The difference is basically 9 by 4. So 9 by 4 is the correct answer here, which is option C. Okay, see this question. This is from increasing, decreasing functions, monotonicity. A function is given to you and you have to check in which interval this function will be increasing. Means out of these 4 given options, in which option the function is increasing. So you know that your function will be increasing if the derivative is positive. So you can check the derivative. So if I differentiate this straight away, the derivative is what? 4 sine cube x cos x plus 4 cos cube x minus sine x. Now you can take 4 sine x cos x common. In fact, take minus 4 sine x cos x common, so you will get cos square x minus sine square x. Now you know that 2 sine x cos x becomes sine 2x, so it is minus 2 sine 2x. And cos square x minus sine square x is cos 2x. So ultimately it is minus sine 4x. And your function should be increasing, so this derivative should be positive or greater than or equal to 0. Now minus sine 4x is positive, means sine 4x should be negative. Sine 4x should be negative. So your function will be increasing if sine 4x is negative. And you can check in which option out of A, B, C, D sine 4x will be negative. Just check the option. Or if I take the interval, sine 4x will be negative between minus pi and 0, or you can say between pi and 2 pi, all intervals are positive. So obviously sine 4x will be negative between pi, if I take 4x between pi and 2 pi. So pi by 4 less than x less than pi by 2. So this is the interval in which your function is increasing, Means first option is the correct option here. See this question. This is from quadratic. A quadratic is given to you, and they are saying that this quadratic is positive for all x. So what will be the integer k satisfying this? The integer k for which this quadratic is positive for all x. So you know that any quadratic is positive for all x only when the leading coefficient is positive and discriminant is negative. The coefficient of x square should be positive, which is already positive here, 1, and discriminant should be negative. Now discriminant is what? Discriminant is 4 times 3k minus 1 whole square minus 4 times 8k square minus 7. So this should be negative. Now 4 can be taken out. So it is 9k square minus 6k plus 1. And then minus 8k square plus 7. It is less than 0. Now you are getting what? You are getting k square minus 6k plus 8. And its factors are k minus 2, k minus 4, less than 0. So hence k must lie between 2 and 4. And between 2 and 4, there is only one integer, 3. So hence k must be 3. Means option C is the correct option here, right? See this question. This question is from logarithm, and you can say quadratic. They are asking product of real roots of this equation. Product of real roots of this equation. Means basically what they are asking, let's say this equation gives you, means product of real values of x. Product of real values of x here. So you can clearly see that it is a quadratic in x, a quadratic in log x actually. It is a quadratic in log x, and you can clearly see that the discriminant of this quadratic is positive. Discriminant is positive. So hence this quadratic will give you 2 values of log x. So means this quadratic will give you 2 roots, 2 real values of log x, and let's say 2 real values of log x are log x1 and log x2. The 2 roots of this equation are, let's say, log x1 and log x2. Because it is a quadratic in log x, the roots will be something like this, log x1, log x2. Now if I take sum of roots here, log x1 plus log x2, so sum of roots minus b by a, which is 12. So I got log x1, x2, 12. And hence I can say that x1, x2 will be e raised to 12. Means product of real roots of this equation is e raised to 12. Means let's say you are getting 2 values of x, x1, x2. The product of 2 values of x is e raised to 12. Means option B is the correct option here. Okay, see this question. This is from AP. They are saying that the sum and product of first 3 terms of a decreasing AP. Decreasing AP means common difference is negative. The first 3 terms, sum is 24, product is 440. So let's say first 3 terms of AP are, let's say the first 3 terms of AP are A minus T, A and A plus T. These are the first 3 terms of AP. So if I take the sum of these 3, the sum of these 3 will be 3A, which is 24. So hence A is 8 here. And if I multiply these 3, A minus T, A and A plus T. So this product is given as 440. Now substitute the values of A here. So 8 times 8 minus T, 8 plus T, 440. Cancel out 8 here. So you will get 5 and 555. Now 8 minus D, 8 plus T is 64 minus T square, 55. So this gives you D square d square is equal to 9. So d will be minus 3. Since AP is decreasing, hence I am taking the negative value of d. AP is decreasing, the common difference should be negative. So now you can say that your AP is what? First term of the AP is a minus d. A is 8, d is minus 3. The first term of the AP is 11. Then you have 8, and then you have 5. So this is the AP. 11, 8, 5. Now they are saying that we are defining a function s, and Sn denotes the sum of n terms of the AP. Sn denotes the sum of n terms of AP. So which option is false here? S4, S5. So see, so what will be? S4 is 26, S5 is 25. Which option is what? So let me check. Let's Sn will be what? Sn will be n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1d. Sum of n terms of AP, n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1d. So it is n by 2, 2a. A is what? 11. So 2a will be 22. N minus 1d, d is what? Minus 3. So minus 3n plus 3. So Sn will be n by 2, 25 minus 25 minus 3n. This is Sn. N by 2, 2a, a is 11, so 22. Then d is minus 3, so minus 3n plus 3, yes, 22 plus 3, 25 minus 3. Now let's just check S4. So S4 is what? S4 is 4 by 2, which is 2. 25 minus 12, so it is 26. Means A option is correct here. A option is correct. This one is correct. Now S5. S5 will be 5 by 2. 25 minus 15. 5 by 2. 25 minus 15. So it is 5 by 2 into 10. So it is 25. This one is also correct. S5 is greater than S4. So this one is false. And obviously S4 will be maximum among all Sn, because see, first term is 11, second term is 8, third term is 5, next term will be 2, fourth term will be 2, and after that all terms are negative. Our fifth term onwards, all terms are negative. So maximum sum you will get when you add only the first 4 terms, because when you add negative terms, value will decrease. So obviously S4 is maximum among all Sn. The false option is D option here. See this question. This is from probability. They are saying that 2 squares are chosen at random on a chessboard. Means from these 64 square, you have selected 2 squares randomly. So what is NS? NS will be 64C2. 64C2 is what? 64, 63 by 2. So it is 32 into 63. This is total number of ways of selecting 2 squares from these 64 squares. Now they are saying that what is the probability that they have a side in common? Means the 2 selected squares must have a common side. So what will be the favorable number of ways? Let's say E is the event that 2 selected squares have a common side. So see, common side is possible only when you choose 2 adjacent squares, either from a row or from a column. So see, from the first row, let me call it first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. So they will, if I'm selecting 2 squares from the first row, so they will have a common side only when they are adjacent. Means either they are 1 2 or 2 3 or 3 4 or 4 5 or 5 6 or 6 7 or 7 8. So from first row, I can select 2 adjacent square in 7 ways. And when I choose 2 adjacent square, obviously they will have a common side. So from the first row, 2 adjacent squares can be selected in 7 ways. Similarly, from the second row, 7 ways. From the third row, 7 ways. From the fourth row, 7 ways. So you have 8 rows. The total number of ways is 7 into 8. When you are choosing 2 squares, 2 adjacent squares from a row. Similarly, you can choose 2 adjacent squares from a column also. So from column also, you will get the same thing, 7 into 8. So means there are 56 into plus 56, the 112. So favorable number of ways is 112. So what is the probability here? Probability will be 112 over 32 into 63. Can we cancel it? 7, I think it is divisible by, let me divide by 4 first. So 8 here. And we have here 28. And then if I divide by 7, so I will get 4, 8 into 9. So it is 1 by 18. The 1 by 18 should be the correct answer, right? See this question. This is from complex numbers. They are saying that Z is a complex number satisfying these two equations. The first equation is mod Z is equal to 4. And the second equation is argument of Z minus 1 pi by 4. So then the locus of Z is a segment of a straight line. Locus of Z is a set of 2 points, is a set of only 1 point or no point. So very obvious, see mod Z is equal to 4. Mod Z is equal to 4 is basically what? It is basically a circle with center at origin, radius 4. So mod Z is equal to 4 is a circle having center at origin, radius 4. And argument of Z minus 1 is equal to pi by 4 is basically a ray, not complete line. A ray emerging from the point 1, 0 and inclined at an angle 45 degree with the positive direction of x-axis. So see mod Z is equal to 4. This is basically a circle. This is basically a circle having center at origin and radius 4. Radius is 4. This point is 4, 0. So this circle is mod Z is equal to 4. Now, what is argument of Z minus 1 is equal to pi by 4? Argument of Z minus 1 is equal to pi by 4 is a ray like this, emerging from the point 1, 0, excluding the point 1, 0, and inclined at an angle pi by 4 with the positive direction of x-axis. So you can clearly see that there is only one point which satisfies both. This point, let me call this point is P. So P is the only point which is lying on both. It is lying on the circle as well as on this ray. So hence the point which satisfies both the equation, that will be the point P, only one point. So hence locus of Z is a point, option C. See this question. They have given you two lines, root 2x minus y plus 4 root 2 k0, root 2 kx plus ky minus 4 root 2 0. K is a parameter here, non-zero parameter. So first you have to find the locus of the point of intersection of these two lines. And after getting the locus, you have to check the locus is what? Is it an ellipse or a hyperbola? And what will be its eccentricity of the locus. So to get the locus of the point of intersection of these two lines, you have to eliminate k. Just eliminate k from these two equations. Whatever equation you are getting after eliminating k, that will be the locus. So see from the first equation, if I find k, so this is what? This is root 2x minus y over minus 4 root 2. And from the second equation, if I find k, so that is 4 root 2 over root 2x plus y. Now if I equate these two values of k, So ultimately I'm getting root 2x minus y into root 2x plus y is equal to 16 into 2 minus 32. So now this equation becomes 2x square minus y square minus 32. If I divide the whole equation by 32, so it is x square over 16 minus y square over 32 is equal to minus 1. And obviously this locus is a hyperbola. It's a hyperbola. X square over a square minus y square over b square is equal to minus 1. It will have two branches, upward and downward, center at origin. And what will be its eccentricity? Eccentricity is under root a square, which is 16, plus b square, which is 32, over b. Over b means root 32. Under root a square plus b square, a square plus b square by b. So this is what? This is under root 48 by 32. So it is under root 3 by 2. We don't have under root 3 by 2. So eccentricity is not under root 3 by 2. And length of transverse axis of the hyperbola is what? Length of transverse axis of the hyperbola, see, length of transverse axis. TA means transverse axis, that will be 2b here. So that will be 2 times under root 32. And under root 32 is 4 root 2. So it is 8 root 2. So hence D option is the correct option here. The locus is a hyperbola with the length of transverse axis as 8 root 2. Okay, see this question. This is from continuity. This function is continuous at 0. So then what will be alpha? Function is already given as continuous. What will be alpha? And since function is continuous at x is equal to 0, so hence limit x approaching to 0 fx must be equal to f0. And f0 is given as alpha. F0 is given as alpha. So this should be alpha. So alpha is basically this limit x approaching to 0 fx. So alpha is basically what? Limit x approaching to 0 x cube over 1 minus cos 2x can be written as 2 sine square x and then whole square. 1 minus cos 2x is 2 sine square x and whole square. So you will get 4 sine raised to 4x here. 1 minus cos 2x, 2 sine square x and whole square. Now this log can be written as log 1 plus 2x e raised to minus 2x minus log 1 minus x e raised to minus x whole square. Log m by n is log m minus log n. Now this is what? Limit x approaching to 0. You know that x over sine x becomes 1. So x cube x over sine cube x, that will become 1. So denominator is effectively 4 sine x only. Denominator is effectively 4 because this x over sine x whole cube, that will become 1. So you are left with only 1 sine x in the denominator. So now you can say that this limit is what? Log 1 plus 2x e raised to minus 2x. And you know that log 1 plus fx over fx, this becomes 1 when fx approaches to 0. When fx approaches to 0. So what I will do, since I have log 1 plus 2x e raised to minus 2x, so just divide it by 2x e raised to minus 2x here. And to balance it, multiply by 2x e raised to minus 2x. Then this 2 can be taken outside. Log this 2 power in log 1 minus x e raised to minus x whole square. So this 2 can be taken outside. Now you have log 1 minus x e raised to minus x. So divide by minus x e raised to minus x and multiplied by minus x e raised to minus, just to balance it. And outside this bracket, I have what? I have 1 by 4 sine x. 1 by 4 sine x. Right. Because x over sine x whole cube, that will become 1. If you want to write it, just write x over sine x whole cube. Ultimately, that is going to be 1. Now you can see that this quantity will become 1. This will become 1 log 1 plus fx over fx. This quantity will become 1 log 1 plus fx over. Now x taken outside, this x can be taken outside, this x can be taken outside. So ultimately, outside the bracket, you will get x over sine x, that is also 1. X over sine x is also 1. Just take these two x outside the bracket, x over sine x. So finally, you are getting what? You are getting 1 by 4. This log 1 plus fx over fx is 1. X taken outside. So you got here 2 times e raised to 0 when you put x 0. Then you got minus 2 times, again this log 1 plus fx over fx1. And here you got minus e raised to 0. Again e raised to 0, but minus sign we have here. So ultimately it is 1 by 4, 2 plus 2, which is 1. Means option A is the correct option here, right? A natural number n has prime factorization given like this, where y and z are related by these two equations. Y is greater than z. Then number of odd divisors of n. Number of odd divisors of n. So what will be the number of odd divisors of n? Number of odd divisors. So number of odd divisor will be basically y plus 1, z plus 1. See, the divisor of this number n will be of this form: 2 raised to a, 3 raised to b, 5 raised to c. But since your divisor is odd, so for a you have only one option, which is 1, which is 0. In fact, for a you have only one option, which is 0. For b you have y plus 1 option. B can vary from 0 to y. B can vary from 0 to y. So for b you have y plus 1 option. For c you have y plus 1 option. So 1 into y plus 1 into z plus 1. So I need y plus 1 into z plus 1. And y plus 1 into z plus 1 can be written as yz, then y plus z plus 1. And y plus z is 5. So it is yz plus 6. Y plus z is 5. It's already given here. Now I need yz. So 1 over y plus 1 over z, it is given as 5 by 6. 1 over y plus 1 over z is given as 5 by 6. So if I solve it, I will get y plus z over yz 5 by 6. And y plus z is 5. So this will give you yz is equal to 6. And yz is 6. So number of odd divisors is 6 plus 6, which is 12. Means D option is the correct option here. See this question. A hyperbola has transverse axis along the major axis of this conic. This conic is nothing but ellipse. So a hyperbola has transverse axis along the major axis of this ellipse. And vertices of the hyperbola is same as the foci of this ellipse. If the eccentricity of the hyperbola is given as 3 by 2, then which of these 4 points does not lie on this hyperbola? Means out of these 4 points, 3 points will satisfy the hyperbola. Which one doesn't satisfy? So let's check the ellipse first. The ellipse is x square over 3 plus y square over 4 is equal to 1. Basic, it is not 1 actually, it is 4 on the right side. x square over 3 plus y square over 4 is equal to 4 actually on the right side. So basically it is x square by 12 plus y square by 16 is equal to 1. And you can clearly see that this is vertical ellipse, x square over a square plus y square over b square is equal to 1, where a is less than b is greater than it. It is vertical ellipse, means major axis is y axis, minor axis is x axis. Now what will be its eccentricity? Its eccentricity will be under root b square, which is 16, minus a square, which is 12, over b, which is 4. The eccentricity is 3 by, it is what, half actually. So under root 4 by 4, which is half. So if I find the foci of this ellipse, so foci will be 0, comma, plus minus BE. B is 4. So BE is what? 4 multiplied by half, 0, comma, plus minus 2. So this is the foci of the ellipse. Now I can write the hyperbola. Hyperbola will be x square over a square minus y square over b square is equal to minus 1. On the right side, you will write minus 1 because your hyperbola is passing through the point 0, comma, plus minus 2. So hyperbola will be upward downward type, center origin. Now since hyperbola is passing through the point 0, comma, plus minus 2, so obviously b is 2 for hyperbola. For hyperbola, b is 2. Now eccentricity of the hyperbola is given 3 by 2. So you can write a square as, a square can be written as b square e square minus 1. So 4, 3 by 2 means 9 by 4 e square minus 1. So it is 5. And hence the hyperbola is what? The hyperbola is x square over a square, which is 5, y square over b square, which is 4, is equal to minus 1. And now just check out of these 4 given point, which one doesn't satisfy the hyperbola? Which one doesn't satisfy the hyperbola? So let's check the first point. If I put the first point, the root 5 by 5 means 5 by 5, 1. And then 2 root 2 whole square will be 8. 8 by 4 is 2. The first one satisfies. Second one, 25 by 5 is 5. And then 2 root 3. 2 root 3 square will be 12. So it is actually, if I put the second point, the 25 by 5, it is 5 here. And here 12 by 4, it is not satisfying actually. So B is not satisfying, I think. Or you can check it carefully if I'm wrong. Yes, B is not satisfying. In a school, there are 3 types of games to be played. Some of the students play 2 types of games, but none play all 3 games. Means intersection of all 3 should be empty. So which Venn diagram can justify the above statement? So actually the intersection should be empty here because none of the students play all the 3 games. But you can see that in all the 3 Venn diagrams, given Venn diagram, intersection is not empty. We have intersection here. We have intersection here. We have intersection here. But intersection should be empty. So none of these 3 Venn diagram justify the given statement. The answer will be B, which is none of these. Okay, see this question. The position vectors of 2 points P and Q are given. R and S with the 2 points such that direction ratios of PR and QS are also given. And these 2 lines PR and QS intersect at a point T. T is the point of intersection of PR and QS. And if TA is perpendicular to both PR and QS and length of TA is root 5, so what will be the modulus of position vector of A? So I have to get the position vector of A, right? So see, let's write the equations of PR and QS first. Let's write the equations of PR and QS first. So what is the equation of PR? Equation of PR. To see your PR line is passing through this point P, passing through this point P, and the direction ratios of your PR line is this. So hence I can write the equation of PR as x minus 3 by, it is x minus 3. Equation of PR will be x minus 3 by 4, y plus 1 by minus 1, z minus 2 by 2. PR is passing through this point, 3 minus 1, 2. The numerator will be x minus 3, y plus 1, z minus 2. And denominator, the direction ratios of PR, which is 4 minus 1, 2. Similarly, if I write the equation of QR, equation of QR. The QR is passing through this point, 1, 2, minus 4. So you will write x minus 1, and direction ratios of QR are this point. Minus 2, minus 1, minus 2. This is direction ratios of QR and passing through this point. So x minus 1 over minus 2, y minus 2 over 1, and z plus 4 over minus 2. Numerator will be x minus 1, y minus 2, z plus 4, because QR is passing through this point. So x minus 1, y minus 2, z plus 4. And denominator, the direction ratios, minus 2, 1, minus 2. Now these two lines, PR and QS, intersect at T. So let's find the intersection point. So let's find the intersection point T. T is the intersection of these two lines. So let me take the point in general form. Let's suppose it is lambda. So in general form, I can take T as 4 lambda plus 3 minus lambda minus 1, 2 lambda plus 2. 4 lambda plus 3 minus lambda minus 1 and 2 lambda plus 2. And since T is the intersection of these two lines, T is the intersection of these two lines, so T must satisfy the second equation also. Means this T point must satisfy QR also. So what I will do, I will put this point T in the second equation QR. So if I put here T, 4 lambda plus 3, so it is 4 lambda plus 3 minus 1, so which is plus 2 over minus 2. Minus lambda minus 1 and then minus 2. So minus lambda minus 3 by 1. 2 lambda plus 2 plus 4 plus 6 by minus 2. So this gives you minus 2 lambda minus 1 minus lambda minus 3 minus lambda minus 3. Now if I solve first two, so I am getting what? I am getting 2 lambda plus 1 is lambda plus 3. So lambda will be 2. And lambda is 2. So that means I got T point. T point is what? Just put lambda 2 here. So it is 11 minus 3 and 6. This is T point. Now they are saying that the line TA is perpendicular to both PR and QS. The line TA is perpendicular to both PR and QS. So hence the direction of this vector TA, direction of this vector PA will be perpendicular to both these vectors, both the direction vectors of PR and QS. So first what you will do, you see the direction ratios of the first line, PR is 4 minus 1, 2. Let me call this direction 4 minus 1, 2. Let me call this direction as B1 vector. Let's take B1 cross B2. B1 is what? B1 is the direction vector of the line PR. Means you can say direction ratios of the line PR. 4 minus 1, 2. This is B1. And B2 is what? You can say this is B1, 4 minus 1, 2. And this is B2, minus 2, 1, minus 2. And since TA is perpendicular to both these lines, so the direction of TA will be B1 cross B2. Will be B1 cross B2. So just take the cross product of these two. I, J, K. 4 minus 1, 2. minus 2, 1, minus 2. ijk 4 minus 1 2 and then minus 2 1 minus 2. Now let's find the cross product. So if I find the cross product here, I will get what? With I will get 2 minus 2. 2 minus 2 means 0 I actually. 2 minus 2. With j I will get what? With j I will get minus 8 and plus 4. So 4j. And with k I will get 4 minus 2. Let me check once again. 4 minus 2, yes, plus 2k. So this is B1 cross B2. So that means your vector TA, your line TA is in this direction, 0, 4, 2. So now I can write the equation of TA. Now I can write the equation of TA. Equation of the line TA. Your TA line is passing through the point T, 11 minus 3, 6, and its direction is 0, 4, 2. So TA line can be written as x minus 11 by 0, y plus 3 by 4, z minus 6 by 2. This is TA line. X minus 11, y plus 3, z minus 6, because it is passing through the point T. Passing through the point T, so x minus 11, y plus 3, z minus 6, and directions are 0, 4, 2. And you write 0, 4, 2 here, or you write 0, 2, 1 here, both are same thing. In place of 0, 4, 2, you can write 0, 2, 1 here. Just cancel out 2. So you can also write here 0, 2, 1. 0, 2, 1. Now I have to find the point A. Now I have to find the point A. So A point lies on this line. A point lies on this line. So if I take this line as, let's say I'm taking this as A only. So A point can be written as 11, 2A minus 3 and A plus 6. 11, 2A minus 3 and A plus 6. Now they have given that TA vector is root 5. TA vector is root 5. So let's find TA vector. The length of TA vector is root 5. So if I use distance formula, so they have given that TA length is root 5. TA length is root 5. So just use distance formula. So let's apply distance formula here between T and A. So you will get 11 minus 11, 0. 2A minus 3 plus 3. 2A minus 3 plus 3 is 2A whole square. A plus 6 minus 6, A square. A plus 6 minus 6, A square. And this will be 5. So this gives you 5A square 5, A square 1. So hence A will be plus minus 1. A will be plus minus 1. Now they are asking the length of the position vector of A, means modulus of vector A actually. Modulus of this vector, position vector of A. So what will be the modulus of position vector of A? The modulus of position vector of A will be the required modulus. The required modulus. See, A point is what? A, if I take A is equal to 1, if I take A is equal to 1, so A point is 11 minus 1 and 7. Or if I take A is equal to minus 1, so it is 11 and minus 5 and 5. So A, there will be two possibilities for A. A can be 11 minus 1, 7, or A can be 11 minus 5, 5. So what will be the required modulus? The required modulus will be under root. If I take this first point, the modulus will be 121 plus 1 plus 49. Or if I take the second point, so it is 121 plus 25 plus 25. 121 plus 1 plus 49, or 121 plus 25 plus 25. And in both cases, I'm getting same thing. I'm getting actually under root 171. So option B is the correct option. 11 minus 3, 6. I also got 11 minus 3, 6. Yes. 3 point is 11 minus 1, 7, 11 minus 5. It should be 11 minus 5, 5 here. Anyhow, let's move to the next question. See, this question is from applications of derivative maximum minimum. They are saying that 20 meters of wire is available for fencing of a flower bed in the form of a circular sector. Then what will be the maximum area of this flower bed? So you have a flower bed in form of a sector. So let's say this is the flower bed. Let's say center of this sector is O, radius of this sector is R, and this length of arc is L. And let's say the central angle is theta. So 20 meters of wire is available for fencing, right? So that means what they are saying, perimeter is 20 here, means R plus L is 20. R plus L is 20, or you can say 2R plus L is 20. So what will be the maximum area of this flower bed? So what will be the maximum area? Area will be, area of sector is half R square theta. Half R square theta. And theta can be written as arc length over radius. Arc length over radius. So area will be half RL. And L can be written as 20 minus 2R from here. L is what? 20 minus 2R. So it is half R 20 minus 2R. So now this is what? This is 10R minus R square. And if you make it a perfect square, so this is basically minus taken common. So basically it is 25 minus R minus 5 whole square. 25 minus R minus 5 whole square. And you can clearly see that the maximum area will be 25 here when R is equal to 5. So maximum area is 25 when R is 5. Okay, see this question. This is from binomial, and we need the coefficient of x raised to 256 in this expansion. So I can write this expansion as 1 minus x, then again 1 minus x, then 1 plus x square, and whole raised to 100. It can be written like this. Now it is 1 minus x, and 1 minus x multiplied with 1 plus x square, that will become 1 minus x cube raised to 100. So ultimately it becomes what? It becomes 1 minus x cube raised to 100 and minus x into 1 minus x cube raised to 100. So this is what it becomes after simplification. Now I need the coefficient of x raised to 256 in this expansion. So see, in the first one, if you expand this first one, every power of x will be a multiple of 3. Means the power of x in this expansion, in all terms, in every term, the power of x will be multiple of 3. And 256 is not a multiple of 3. This 256 is not a multiple of 3. It is actually one more than multiple of 3. One more than multiple of 3. 255 will be a multiple of 3. So you will not get x raised to 256 in this expansion. Means in this expansion, there is no term containing x raised to 256, because in this expansion, the power of x will be multiple of 3 all the time. So that means you will get x raised to 256 from here. Now, how will you get x raised to 256? So let's write the general term here. So general term, if I write here, tr plus 1. So general term will be what? 100 cr, 1 raised to 100 minus r, and then minus x cube raised to r. This is the general term in this expansion. But you are multiplying it with minus x2. You are multiplying it with minus x. So hence general term will be multiplied with minus x2. Why you are multiplying with minus x? Because this expansion is multiplied with minus x here. So every term will get multiplied with minus x. The general term should also be multiplied with minus x. So ultimately you are getting what? 100 cr minus 1 raised to r, and minus one more minus 1. So minus 1 raised to r plus 1, and x raised to 3r plus 1. X raised to 3r and x. And now this 3r plus 1 should become 256. This 3r plus 1 should become 256. So r will be what? R will be 255 by 3. Now just divide. So you will get what? You will get 8 and 5, 85. Now just put r is equal to 85. You will get your answer. So what is the coefficient of x raised to 256? It is 100 C85 minus 1 raised to 86, which is 1. So 100 C85 will be the correct answer. And 100 C85 is same as 100 C15. It is same as 100 C15. So hence C option should be the correct option here, 100 C15. See this question. This is from determinant and arithmetic progression. X, Y, Z are in AP with common difference D, and X is not equal to 3D. X is not equal to 3D. And this determinant is 0. Then what is the value of K square here? So see, it is given that X, Y, Z are in AP. What they have given? X, Y, Z are in AP. So hence I can say that X plus Z is equal to 2Y. Or I can say X plus Z minus 2Y is 0. Now see, in this determinant, in the first row, if I add the third row and subtract 2 times the second row. Why I am doing so? Because if I, in the first row, if I add the third row, so I will get X plus Z and then minus 2Y 0. X plus Z minus 2Y 0. So that's why I'm writing X plus Z minus 2Y, means R1 plus R3 minus 2R2. So then this determinant will become what? 3 plus 5, 8 minus 8. This is 0. Here you will get 4 root 2 plus K minus 5 root 2. So 4 root 2 plus K minus 5 root 2. This will be K minus root 2. 0 here. And remaining rows, I'm not doing anything. Let's keep other rows as it is. So this determinant is 0. Now if I expand this determinant through the first, it is 0 here actually. If I expand this determinant through the first row, because in the first row we have 2 zeros, so I will get what? I will get K minus root 2 into 4Z minus 5Y is equal to 0. K minus root 2 into 4Z minus 5Y is equal to 0. So this gives you 2 possibilities. This gives you either K is equal to root 2 or 4Z is equal to 5Y. Now the common difference of the AP is D here. Common difference of the AP is D here. So Z can be written as X plus 2D and Y can be written as X plus T. First term is X, common difference is D. So Z can be written as X plus 2D, Y can be written as X plus T. So this gives you X is equal to 3D. But they have written that X is not 3D. They have written X is not 3D. That means this possibility is ruled out. So hence you got K is equal to root 2 only. And K is equal to root 2. So obviously K square will be what? But why I'm not getting the correct answer? Let me check if I'm doing some mistake. First plus last minus 2 times second. Oh, ho, 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 ho. I did a mistake here. 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 Actually, if I add first plus last minus 2 times second, first plus means first row plus last row, third row minus 2 times second. So I will get 4 root 2 plus K minus 10 root 2. So actually it will be K minus 4 minus 10, 6 root 2 actually here. So K will be actually 6 root 2. So K square will be 72. 4 root 2 plus K minus 10 root 2. So yes, K will be 6 root 2, K square will be 72. Means option D should be the correct option. See this question, this is from matrices and determinants. This system has no solution. This system is inconsistent, no solution. Then what will be the value of K? So since the system is inconsistent, so if I form a determinant using the coefficients, so then this determinant should be 0. So from the determinant, you will see first row is 1, 2, minus 3. Second row is 0, 0, K plus 3. Third row is 2K plus 1, 0, 1. So this should be 0. Now you can see that in the second row we have 2 zeros. So let's expand it through the second row. So if I expand it through the second row, so I will get what? I will get minus K plus 3. This one and this one disappears. So it is 0 here. And then 2 times 2K plus 1. Let me check if I expand here. 1, 2 minus 3. Then I have 0, 0, K plus 3. It is correct. 2K plus 1, 0, 1. It is correct. So this determinant should be 0 for inconsistency. Now if I'm expanding it through the second row, so this one and this one disappears. So I will get 0 minus 2 times 2K plus 1. It is 0. So ultimately you are getting what? K plus 3 into 2K plus 1, 0. So K will be either minus 3 or minus half. K will be either minus 3 or minus half. But if I take K is equal to minus half, if I take K is equal to minus half, but minus half is not there in the option actually. Minus half is not there in the option. But minus half also, for minus half also, the system will be inconsistent. Because if I take K is equal to minus half, so from the third equation, I will get Z0. But if I take Z0, then the second equation doesn't get satisfied. So both should be the correct answer. And now you can, just to verify, you can check the one more determinant, D1. So D1 should, means at least one of the remaining 3 determinants, D1, D2, D3 should not be 0. So for this question, minus 3 should be the answer. Because if you check one more determinant, D1, so D1 is not 0. D1 is not 0 for K is equal to minus 3. Okay, see this question. This is from area. You have to find the area bounded by y is equal to fx and x-axis. Area bounded by y is equal to fx and x-axis. And fx is what? Fx is minimum of these two between minus 3 and 0. And then maximum of these two between 0 and 1. So let's draw the graph. Let's draw the graph from minus 3 to 1. So let's say it is y-axis. And let's say this is x-axis. First, draw the graph between -3 and 0. So between -3 and 0, you have to draw two graphs, y is equal to x plus 6 and y is equal to x square. Y is equal to x plus 6 and y is equal to x square. See, y is equal to x plus 6 is basically a line. Y is equal to, if I draw y is equal to x plus 6, so it is basically a line cutting y-axis at 6 and x-axis at -6. So this line will go something like this. This is the line. It will cut x-axis at -6, y-axis at +6. Now y is equal to x square is a parabola, upward parabola having vertex at origin. So this parabola will be something like this. This is the parabola. This parabola is y is equal to x square. Now, if you find the intersection of the parabola and the line, intersection of y is equal to x plus 6 and y is equal to x square. Just find the intersection. So you will find this intersection as -2, 4. Actually, this intersection point is -2, 4. This intersection point. You can see -2, 4 satisfies both. X minus 2, y becomes 4 in both. And you have to take the minimum of these two. You have to take the minimum of these two. The minimum of those two means lower graph. And you are starting from -3 till 0. So let's say we have -3 here. Let's say this is -3. This is -2. So you can see that from -3 to -2, lower graph is this. This is minimum. This is minimum. And from -2 to 0, lower graph is this. This is the lower graph. So area will be what? Area will be this trapezium. Then this area bounded by the curve y is equal to x square with the x-axis. Now on the right side, from 0 to 1, you have to take maximum of root x and x square. And obviously in 0 to 1, root x is always greater than or equal to x square. Root x will be the upper curve, x square will be the minimum curve. So in 0 to 1, your curve is basically root x. So in 0 to 1, root x will be a curve like this. This is y is equal to root x in 0 to 1. So this area also. So you have to calculate these areas. So area will be what? In -3 to -2, -3 to -2, you have a trapezium. And see, this point will be what? This point will be, if I put -3 here in the line, so x is -3, y is +3. So this point is -3, 3. So what is the area of this trapezium? Area of this trapezium is half sum of parallel sides, which is 3 and 4. This side is 3 and this side is 4. The sum of parallel sides and distance between the parallel sides, which is 1. Now, from -2 to 0, we have to find the area bounded by the curve y is equal to x square with the x-axis. So x square dx. And in 0 to 1, you have to calculate root x dx. Now just calculate it, you will get your answer. So when you calculate it, your final answer will be 41. Okay, see this question. This is from binomial. They are asking the number of rational terms in this binomial expansion. So if I find the general term of this expansion, TR plus 1, so it is 120 CR, 4 raised to 1 by 4 raised to 120 minus R, and 5 raised to 1 by 6 whole raised to R. So it is 120 CR. 4 can be written as 2 square. So it is 2 raised to 60 minus R by 2, because 4 can be written as 2 square, so it is 2 raised to half. So 60 minus R by 2 and 5 raised to R by 6. Now since you need rational term, so your term will be rational only when R is a multiple of 6. R should be a multiple of 2 as well as a multiple of 6. So R must be a multiple of 6. So R can be 0, R can be 6, 12, 18, and at most R can go up to 120. So how many terms you have? So 6 into 1, 6 into 2, actually you have total 21 terms. The number of rational terms is 21 here. Okay, see this. You have to find this sum. Tan of sigma R varying from 1 to n, tan inverse 1 plus R square, and n is approaching to infinity. So we have to find limit n approaching to infinity, tan of sigma R varying from 1 to n. This tan inverse 1 plus R square, 1 over 1 plus R square, it can be written as R plus 1 minus R over 1 plus R plus 1 into R. So hence it can be written as limit n approaching to infinity tan sigma R varying from 1 to n, tan inverse R plus 1 minus tan inverse R. Now it is a telescopic series. When you put R is equal to 1 to n, so then all term gets cancelled. Only the first term and the last term remains. All other term gets cancelled. So when you put R is equal to 1 to n here, you will get tan of tan inverse n plus 1 minus tan inverse 1. All other term gets cancelled. Now since n is approaching to infinity, so this will become tan of tan inverse infinity is pi by 2 and tan inverse 1 is pi by 4. So finally it is tan pi by 4, which is 1. So 1 is the correct answer here, right? Okay, see this question. This is from 3-dimension geometry based on shortest distance. Two lines are given and the shortest distance between these two lines is also given, root 7 by 2 root 2. So then what will be mod lambda? So let's write the two lines in a standard form first. So see, your first line is x minus lambda by 1, y minus half by half, and z over minus half. Just divide by 2 here and divide by minus 2 here. It can also be written as x minus lambda by 2, just multiply the denominator by 2, y minus half by 1, and z over minus 1. This is the first line. Second line is what? Second line is x over 1, y plus 2 lambda over 1, and z minus lambda over 1. This is the second line. Now I have to find the shortest distance between these two lines. So let's take A1. A1 is a point on the first line, which is lambda half 0. A2 is a point on the second line, which is 0, minus 2 lambda and lambda. A1 is a point on the first line, which is lambda half and 0, right? In the second line, we have 0, minus 2 lambda and lambda. So what will be A1 minus A2 or A2 minus A1? So A1 minus A2. This is lambda half plus 2 lambda and minus lambda. Now let's find B1 cross B2. So it is I, J, K. B1 is the direction of the first line, which is 2, 1, minus 1. And B2 is the direction of the second line, which is 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So what will be this? This will be 1 plus 1, 2i. 1 plus 1. Then with J I will get, with J I am getting 2 plus 1, 3J. And with J I will get what? I will get this one and this one disappears. So 2 plus 1 minus 3J in fact. 2 plus 1, yes, 3 to minus 3J. And with K I will get what? 2 minus 1 plus K. Right? So what will be the shortest distance? The shortest distance will be A1 minus A2 dot B1 cross B2 absolute value divided by mod B1 cross B2. And this shortest distance is already given to you. It is given as root 7 by 2 root 2. Now let's solve. So if I take the cross dot product of A1 minus A2 with B1 cross B2, so I will get what? I will get mod 2 lambda minus 3 times half plus 2 lambda minus 3 times half plus 2 lambda and 1 into minus lambda. 2 lambda minus 3 times half plus 2 lambda and 1 into minus. And then mod B1 cross B2. Mod B1 cross B2 is what? 4 plus 9, 13, root 14. Root 14 means root 2, root 7. It is root 7 by 2 root 2. So this root 2 cancel. Now cross multiply, so you will get 2 times 2 lambda, and here you will get what? 2 lambda minus 6 lambda minus 1. So minus 5 lambda. Yes, 2 minus 6, yes, minus 5 lambda minus 3 by 2. It is 7. Multiply by 2 here. So you are getting 5 lambda, in fact 10 lambda plus 3 is equal to plus minus 7 when you remove mod sign. 10 lambda plus 3 is plus minus 7. So you will get 10 lambda lambda is an integer. So in fact 10 lambda will be what? Minus 10 or 4. So lambda will be minus 1 or 2 by 5. But they are saying lambda is an integer. So hence you will take the only integral value. Integral value is minus 1. So mod lambda will be 1 only. So 1 should be the correct answer here. Yes, 2 by 5 and minus 1. Okay, see this question. This is from indefinite integration. This integration on the left is given as fx log x plus 1 plus gx x square plus lx plus c. So what will be 2018 L? Basically, you have to find L only. So see this integration on the left side. I can write this integration as x times log x plus 1 dx. Log is actually ln here, log with the base c, minus x times log x dx. Actually, log m by n can be written as log m minus log n. So I've written log m by n as log m minus. Now just use integration by parts. First function log x plus 1, second function x. The first function log x plus 1, second function x, integration will be x square by 2 minus a new integration, derivative of log x plus 1 is 1 by x plus 1. Integration of x is x square by 2. This is for the first integration. And for the second integration, same thing, first function log x, integration of second x square by 2, derivative of first function is 1 by x, integration of second function will be x square by 2. So you are getting what? You are getting x square by 2. Here log x plus 1, here log x. So log x plus 1 by x. And then you are getting what? Here half x square over x plus 1 dx. Here. And here you are getting plus half x dx. Plus half x dx. And see, I need only the coefficient of x. I don't need anything. I just need the coefficient of x only, Lx. L I need. And see, coefficient of x you will get from this integration only. You will get from this integration only. You will not get x anywhere. And see, this integration, this minus half x square, if I calculate it, so this will be minus half. X square can be written as what? X square minus 1 plus 1. So x minus 1, x plus 1, and then plus 1 over x plus 1 dx. So this will be what? Minus half. It will be what? X plus 1 plus 1 by x plus 1. Sorry, x minus 1 plus 1. X minus 1 plus 1 by x plus 1 dx. So actually, x term you will get, L you will get half from here. Actually, see, integration of x will become x square by 2. Integration of 1 by x plus 1 is log x plus 1. So x you will get by integrating this minus 1 only. So minus half into minus x, that will become half x. So ultimately you are getting, in place of Lx, you are getting half x. So L is half. And hence 2018 L will be what? 2018 divided by 2. So 1009 should be the correct answer here, if I'm not done any calculation here. Yes, 1009 is correct here, right? Okay, let's wrap up this video, guys. See you in the next video. Bye bye, take care, God bless you all.